And I need you, and I miss you. Good to go. I'm checking. I'm adjusting. I'm remembering. I'm reasserting. I'm going wild. Going insane. I am my fucking. Hold on, Chad. I'm trying to fix audio. I think I got it fixed, though. Greetings and salutations, everyone. Oh, good. Knob's back on cam with Sping behind him. I still think he looks very Mexican. Sping does, dude. He looks. Oh fuck. Yeah. See, I knew the audio problem was still here. I knew it was still here. Hold on. Let me fix it. Okay, there we go. Now it should be good.
I made a
Hello.
mistake in choosing to reload Foundry, so now I won't be able to get back on the map until like halfway through the session.
Feels fucking bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm good
Before
to
we
go.
get
okay.
McDonald's Wi-Fi,
Who's gonna hit him with the recap?
I will. That's right. It's me. It was me this whole time, Barry.
Go right ahead, please.
Ladies, gentlemen, y'all. We were caught in a fuckfest of a mess. And, you know, we thought we were going to be able to formulate a plan, bring our benefactor, our what was once friend, down to one knee so we could try to talk him off of this insane campaign. But, you know, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. And our punch in the face came in the form of a fucking flame strike. So we kind of had to resort to our drastic option, which looked like channeling the ley line to what we think was our maximum and facing our apprentice head on. Luckily, the fates were on our side, and it made for a fantastic story where we clashed head on and still came out on top, even coming to a hair's breadth of an edge where we were just not sure if we were going to make it. But I think, for now, Hortigast is back. And hopefully, the apprentice, the impossible apprentice, is gone. At least for now. And we can have an actual conversation with our friend. Well, let's see.
I can't stop clapping. All right.
Can't stop clapping cheeks.
Ha ho! All right. Anyway,
That's all I got to clap.
let me play the music, Barry. Play me off, Jimmy. You know what? I think I'm going to do this one.
I got a little tan at the beach today, dude. Let's go.
My whole face is burnt.
Crispy?
When your
I mean,
normal
my
skin tone,
backgrounds are red, so it's actually making me look more burnt than I am. But I
when your
swear,
skin tone's white out, it's very easy to get a tan, Avery.
yeah. Here, let me open up my character sheet. I'm back on the map, by the way. Let me
good.
open up my character sheet. I'll show you. Hello.
Oh, that's better.
I am a mirror.
Okay, here we go. So, last time, as this went over, you had defeated, perhaps defeat's not the right word, saved the impossible apprentice from the errant energies of his madness. Blue clashed against the violet, and what lingers is not quite the creature that you know, but rather the lingering essence of his will. The body of the impossible apprentice turning to violet and blue dust, the energies within him beginning to separate, and within the soul of his conjoined will. The apprentice's words, whispered as they were through the concourse of the confrontation, belie that of peace and gratitude, a relief that is felt through the entire party, as Hortigast has finally been freed from his service, freed from his madness, and freed from his prison. The lingering presence of the impossible apprentice begins to dissipate as all that remains is Hortigast. The soul is more timid than the apprentice from before, its light not quite as so brightly shining, but still deep in its hues. The figure gestures with a hand for the seven of you to approach. And as the party makes their way up the stairs, you will see that the visage of Hortigast begins to rise up, and above him there is a shuddering, almost as if the entirety of the tower above him begins to open up. A strange shift in what was expected. And then, descending from it, the figure that you've seen before. Circles within eyes, shifting and twisting with purpose. As the choir descends, the many different pieces of its ocular shiftings, the strange emanations of its magic, both digital or otherwise, the blue energies of Hortigast flow up into it. As the sphere begins to expand, and the choir reveals itself to be the instrument in which the tower is controlled. Text in languages you do not recognize begin to flow across the screen. The figure of Hortigast places within his hand a strange glove, a glove that seems to run up its arm and attach through long wires made of gold and silver. He attaches again to his other hand, And once fully attached, you can see that Hortigus takes on not a spiritual form, but a form of pure, hard light. His eyes open. His mouth opens. But words are not spoken. At least words that you understand. Instead, their meaning are implanted across your minds. The knowledge freely opened. The invitation accepted. You feel your very selves begin to lift up into the choir. The chanting, the singing, revealed to be data. The data revealed to be purpose, and the purpose revealed to be will. It is here, when the confines of Hortigast's power, Hortigast freed from madness, within the presence of the choir of angels, you can see it. The experiments made by the Mad Wizard, the measurements of their impact. You can see the forms of the ley lines. You can see the master commands, but you can also see something else. The remaining stars that have yet to fall onto Corvanus. The stars revealing themselves to be strange cubes. Cubes containing what could only be described as children forged of stone and metal and essence. These star children, whatever they are apparently meant to serve the Starcaller's purpose, and more importantly, the purpose as it has been transcribed by the Mad Wizard. The deitical tie, misused, twisted to an endeavor. Whether this was done with or without the consent of Falael is unclear. But what is clear is that here, in the midst of this energy, before Hortigast, as the knowledge of what you see unfurls before you, speaks to the soul within, your bodies feel light, transparent, and the fire within, the burning torch, illuminates the darkness of the world. With a single flit of Hortigast's wrist, the data flies before you. You feel a sense of obedience from him, of obligation. Freeing his soul from its torment has proven that it is you that are worthy to decide the fates of those of which this power would affect. That it is you that has proven yourselves to be masters of this domain. It is you that has proven yourselves to make the right decision, despite its difficulty. And so, the unveiling of the choir of angels, the full strength of the wayward tower, its near boundless mana, the skills of Hortigast, unbound, as the entirety of the tower flows with the impossible. Your reward is given as thus. Each of you, he shall grant one wish. So, now we have to go into mechanics. Rubs hands.
Please.
So, this is a full wish, not a lesser one. And wishes take the form of, mechanically, as a spell, as the ability to enact your will upon reality, much so that you would do in the dream. Except now you do it in the waking realm. This means that you can change things. This means you can... Well, I mean, it's literally anything you'd like. All wishes, once presented, will be answered and fulfilled to the capacity in which the world can sustain them. So to be clear, though it is a full wish, there are limitations. You cannot wish for things that cannot be. There are a few things that cannot be, such as love where there is none, life where there is no wish to be, and other incompatible things like you could not wish for Corvanus to be
More wishes.
More wishes. You can't wish for Corvanus to be El de Sharkai, for example. There are some wishes that are unable to be granted because the world does not have the capacity in which to do so. Despite that, everything else is on the table. Of course, the final effects that it will be translated by myself, but it will be as close to your intention as possible. Once more, this is not a monkey's paw.
Please explain what a monkey's paw is. I've heard it like 5 times. I don't know what that is.
I will explain. So, a monkey's paw is a reference to a wish with unintended consequences based off the hubris of the wish. So, for example...
Like genies and stuff?
It's like the bad versions of wishes. So it works like this. Like, if you wished for infinite wealth, you would be crushed by 1,000 gold coins and die.
Ah!
You see what I mean? That's what the monkey's paw is. Or if you wished for eternal life, you'd be turned to stone.
Yeah, okay.
That's what it is. This is not one of those things. The intention is not to punish the hubris behind the wish, but rather to understand that the wish must be acclimatable by the world. That's what I mean by you can't wish for things that cannot be.
Feels like a monkey's paw.
Anyway, that being said, things are on the table. Whatever it is that you wish to enact.
Everything's on the table.
Can I use player knowledge in making my wish?
Yes.
Good question. Oh, fuck, dude.
This wish is for your player soul, not for your character.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Holy shit.
I thought it was limited to the character.
No, that's what I meant by your bodies felt transparent and light, because it is the soul within that is interacting with Hortigast.
Our traveler soul.
I'm going to go get a drink. I'll be right back.
Give it a nice think.
Mm-hmm.
I did not expect this.
Me neither.
What is it we are looking at again? Like, does what we're staring at seem real? Like,
yes and
We've seen
no.
this before.
Yeah, it seems real, but it also doesn't. It seems surreal, I think, was better to say.
Yeah.
You're essentially looking at one of the forces of creation, and that is a difficult thing to process.
yeah, like this. I think I'm dead right now at this point.
It is how I imagine. It is what I imagine the first time you see the Aurora Borealis in person, what it must be like. That's the closest real world thing I could really compare. I've never seen it in real life before, but I imagine it's something like that if you see it for the first time. I'm sure Nob sees it on the reg, so it probably doesn't mean anything to him, but still.
Sorry, there's a lot to consider.
No, take your time.
Yeah, like I'm over here as a player going, I wonder if I could wish for another campaign.
So that would be under the lines of things that cannot be, because I am limited as a person. So like I can't like
I know.
do that. So yeah, but this.
So this is player knowledge, but we decide how much influence is from the character in this wish, I guess.
It's up to you entirely. You have full knowledge and access to it.
I'm gonna give everyone a furry.
Can I know this current state of Calcatesh right now?
I'll kill you, and it will not look like an accident.
Purify
I will drown
everyone.
you in my own piss.
Grammar's immediate wish after that will be to undo that wish.
Arcadum, can I know the current state of Calcatesh?
If we're all furries, then no one will be. The current state of Calcatesh?
Yes.
The current state of Calcatesh, according to Hortigast's knowledge, is that Calcatesh is currently undergoing a major change of technology. Technology has surfaced to the point to where it is being directly challenged. It is directly challenging magic, which has long since been the hegemony that has ruled Calcatesh. In fact, there is a war between magic and technology right now. This is right on the back of the Scarab War, which were the awakening of the old Scarab Lords that awakened in Majatol, which are the pharaoh kings of its past, that had a congruence of magic in an attempt to restore Majatol, that they and the inventions of new technology are now directly contrasting each other. That is what is happening in Calcatesh right now.
Clarification on how deep player knowledge goes. Is this everything contained within the context of Verum? Or is it outside of that as well?
What do you mean, like for Edge of Twilight stuff?
Edge of Twilight stuff, older stuff, like
Please don't wish to go to court.
You have to be more specific. I can't really answer that question.
Yeah, no, like Calistro stuff or like any tangential stuff, or is it just only within the confines of Verum as a setting?
It is only within the confines of Verum as a setting.
Gotcha.
This wish does not have jurisdiction outside of the reality in which it is wished.
Gotcha. Got it. Thanks.
No, you cannot whisper Arcadum to do another hot tub stream.
Does it seem like Hortigas is fading? I know you said he was his body had changed some way.
It is more so that Hortigast is free.
Oh.
Did he like transcend our reality and become one with the Force?
I think Hortigas is an angel.
Hortigast was trapped in his old body, as imprisoned by his own power, as his service to the conflicting powers. Destroying his body and releasing him has allowed him to try to make some of the wrongs that he had done right. But in this madness and in this way, deciding what is right is not something he believes he can decide, because he's already tried that once. He therefore leaves the decision to you, because whether or not it is the correct choice is irrelevant. You have proven yourselves to be wiser, to be stronger, and therefore, you must be right. Whether or not that's true, once again, is irrelevant, because it is the decision that he has made.
But does it seem like he himself...
As to your question of, do you think he's going to be alive in the way that you would reprimand? No. He is ready to move on to the next part of his existence, whatever that form might be.
Yes, okay, that was the end goal of the question. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that's fine.
Which is also what he wanted. So,
Mm-hmm.
because remember, he could resurrect himself if he wanted to, but he doesn't want that.
No, I respect that.
So don't use your wish on that, because he doesn't.
Yeah. I was just making sure.
Once again, you cannot wish for things that cannot be. You cannot return.
You think you're getting away, bud? Nah, come here, we're friends now.
Well, I mean, I suppose you could trap his soul with the wish, yeah, if you wanted to do some really evil shit, I suppose. But,
Looks at Knob.
I hold up a bottle. I put him in the bottle.
Right.
Now I can watch him while I sleep.
And vice versa.
That's right, Mama Opal. Just like you did to me.
Wait, I hear him, but I can't see it.
I'm stuck in the aether.
I want to make a super selfish.
So fuck, bro. This you said it's player knowledge. Can I ask questions about the ramifications of wishes that he may know?
I will only be able to answer those questions to the limitations of what Hortigast knows. His knowledge is not omniscient. And also,
what does Hortigast know on getting rid of the other apprentices?
To face the other apprentices are equivalent power levels to himself. You cannot wish for what cannot be. Weakening them is definitely something you could do. Destroying them completely is not something he's capable of doing. They are his equivalent.
Would weakening one or would weakening both be plausible, or would it have to be specific to one?
You could try to weaken both. Trying to weaken both would be less than trying to weaken one.
Okay.
I want to make a super selfish wish, dude. Well, I don't even know if it's possible. I want to give myself a fucking title so that way my next character is even stronger.
Oh my god. That's.
That is something.
But I also,
I'm sorry.
I don't
wait,
know what
what did
titles
you
I
just
can
say,
get.
Arcadum?
What's up?
I don't know what titles there are.
What did you say about his assumption about getting titles?
I want to make a wish to give myself, my player's self, a title so that way each of
player
my
title.
characters from here on are stronger. But I don't know
Yeah.
what titles there are.
Is that plausible? Can
Yes.
that happen? Oh my god. Well-
Holy shit.
Greed, I see.
It's super selfish. It's super selfish. It really is.
I mean, it's also very Gene.
It is me. It is me.
Or is it?
It is also
Avery?
very Gene. It's both.
This is very.
Oh,
This is me.
It
I like when
was-
things
It
are
was
easier on
me. It was
Gene is
me.
just the blonde version of Avery.
It was me,
I
Billy.
based Gene off my brother, and my
Can
brother would
Hordigas-
also want this.
Can Hordigas tell me the current state of Corvana should none of us make a wish? What it's heading towards?
A tumultuous peace that will soon to be shattered. But for a time, a tumultuous peace.
And it'll be shattered by the Star Children?
Hordigas
Or-
will reveal what he believes will happen. Remember, this is from the perspective of this narrator.
Yes.
It is presented that his colleagues he believes will fail in their endeavors to fight against the heroes of Corvanus. Not only because he believes in their strength, as you have literally taught him that, but he has also, in his own way, as being the only of the three apprentices that has been conflicted with the things that they've done, he has set about in his own way to interfere with them. Things that he has done in small, very almost imperceptible tangents, such as the trading of flesh, the selling of secrets. You will see that as Hordigast changes his hand, you will see that there are individuals speaking to a bunch of unscrupulous-looking gentlemen inside of an erotic tavern inside of Saphira. You will see that there are those bearing the marks of the mercenary group of the Abacus in the background, watching another group speaking to the leader of the Abacus, each one of them flashing with a slight violet gaze. The arrangement of serendipity, of good fortune, and just the right timing, all indications of the impossible apprentice's subtle deviations in the hopes that he and his comrades could be stopped.
Nice.
Impossible, perhaps, but nothing is impossible.
Who the fuck called him Hordy?
Got him.
One of y'all wrote this in our fucking notes. One of y'all called him Hordy.
Good old
Why?
Hordy. Good old Hordy boy.
he's a horny boy.
Does anybody
It
know where I can
wasn't
find
me,
the
I
list of
promise.
player titles?
Well, if you're wishing for a player title, wish for something that doesn't exist yet.
I know, but I'm not that
Literally
imaginative.
wish.
I'm very, very simple. I'm a simple man.
Well, if you're gonna go for it, just wish for what you want.
I don't know
One
what I
that Arcadum would like. Things you would like, you know?
Wish for a player title that gives you wish.
I don't know what the other player titles do, so I don't know what realm of reference I have for power.
You have a literal wish, dude. Like, ask.
Here, I
even if
could show
can't
you.
do
I
it.
could show you some of them.
That'd be cool.
Sure. See,
I might
You
just
can
want one that already
actually-
exists.
You could actually make something that might benefit the world as a whole.
here is a list.
Why would I do that?
If you look at notes, here is a list of player titles that are currently known.
Thank goodness.
You can- they're also on the wiki.
That's what I was hoping for. That's what I was looking for, and he pulled it up for me.
Hope Clash. Prismatic loot.
All in.
Ah, all in.
What the? I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that.
Salutes.
Traveler? Question mark. Nice.
Fast healing 5. That's cool as shit.
Well, shit. Does he see a future for the people of Corvallis should Corvallis fail?
Hortigas will reveal that life will always find a way. Even in the insidious plans of Tyr, they were, despite their nature, intended to preserve the ultimate future of Corvallis. The problem is that most cannot agree on what a future should be. Most agree that there should be a future.
Arcadum, what does the hopeless trait do in combat?
You cannot make rerolls with player inspiration.
Ooh.
Or other versions of it mean that if you do, I get one. Or some other representation of that. Such as Hope Eater.
Dude, currently, guys, Survivor and Chosen look really very attractive.
Brother, you're thinking real small.
Yeah, good for
I
you.
am very
I'm,
small.
You could
I'm not
just
taking
make
one of those.
some shit up. Like,
Avery, to put it in perspective, I thought about wishing for the title of Protector, and let Arcadum decide what that means. Like, that's where my head's at right now. But I also have something else that I'm thinking about doing, depending on what the party does.
I'm trying to think of something to help
I'm pretty
Corvallis.
much settled on being selfish.
my shit ain't dependent on any of y'all. you better not be holding out for me. Arcadum,
I want to see
I-
what you guys do, because it'll influence what I do.
if I ask Hortigas what the ramifications of wishing that the apprentices never existed at all, would that be too much?
That is
Not
something,
necessarily that they were dead, but
that is something that cannot be, for if that were
Yeah.
possible, you would not receive a wish.
yeah,
That would be a paradox.
you kind of just yeah.
Does
I
anyone
think
know
that's
what they
the
want
best
to wish or what they're going to wish?
I'm making a list.
I'm checking boxes.
Also,
as
I
I'm
should
thinking of
mention,
them.
you can affect time. However, doing so will piss off Raquel. So,
Is she already fucking mad at like 5
Yeah,
parties
she's
right
already
now?
mad. It's okay.
Oh,
Drag
oh
her to
no.
twice at least.
Wait.
it'll be fine.
She's
It'll
not
be
mad at us.
Mad at
fine.
me?
She met her and we didn't piss her off.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine, and she puts
It'll
us
be
in a
fine,
fucking
says
block.
the man working directly for her at the moment.
To us, she's eventually gonna get pissed
The
off at
fucking
us.
the fucking goddess of time is always Madge, because people are fucking with the timeline constantly.
You know what? Boom. All your enemies have haste. Fuck you. Die.
Okay.
Undispellable too.
You know what? Now you're all
If-
venerable age.
Oh, it's a good thing I don't age.
Yeah? Say that to her face.
I won't. Don't worry.
Just because you
Go
don't
find your
age
end.
doesn't mean she can't lock you into a certain age. Congratulations, you're
You're
old and shrivelly, but you live forever.
Congratulations, you're now 5 years old again. In
Didn't she do the
Elf
opposite to a person in Shattered Crowns?
Would asking for the power that the apprentices have to be returned also get rid of the wish? Like to
That would
to-
depend
to-
on what you mean by that.
So if I want to like everything hold on, let me figure out the specifics of it.
Okay?
Just say what you think, dude. He's not gonna monkey's paw you.
No. I'm just trying. If I can get more for everything, I'm going to pack as much into this as possible. If I have to start kicking pieces off, I'll kick pieces off. But wish will go bird. I'm not wishing for a hot pocket. Okay.
A wish monologue. I like it.
Damn.
I'm also not going first, so people better not be waiting on me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go over here and think.
How are the
I'm trying
yokai
to
in the
figure out
West?
how I want to word mine.
How are they doing?
How are the what?
The yokai in the West, how are they doing?
Not good.
Not good.
As of
Yeah.
right now,
Sorry, guys.
the Eastern influences have fallen nearly completely out of the West. What little remains lives only with the people of Haikyo as they take up refuge in Moaz-Kadan or in Saphira, waiting for the ships to take them home. The elemental aspects that you left behind are all but destroyed by the Dream Eaters and are lost.
I think there's a wish for Nist. Help that out.
Fuck.
Yeah.
See, this is where I feel like I should watch the other sessions, because I'm so scared that I'm gonna do what Toot did and make a wish that's completely useless.
That was fun.
Like, oh yeah, I wish that these people's fight was over, and like the start of the next session, they finish the fight. Fuck.
Trying to think of anything else I could do. What else am I thinking? I want to go. Let's see. I mean, what
Giving me
is
option on this.
what is some ideas everyone has so far? I don't know. Like, I know this is an individual thing, so if you don't want to share, that's fine.
Dude, Arcadum. Okay. Let me run this by you.
Okay.
Is there a chance that I could get a title that lets all of my future characters always have like the greater familiar feat from this? Like how like I like familiars. I think they're cool.
That title already exists. It's called Page Master.
What is the title?
The title is called Page Master. It allows you to have access to the Find Familiar spell, and it is allowed to be pulled directly from the story pool rather than the spell list pool.
Mm. That's cool. Just because I love your familiars and I love how you play them. I might just want that. I mean, there's one that's tough feat, right? Which is good, like mathematically, like mechanically, the tough feat is amazing. And chosen fast healing 5 and access to
What is
Hydra
it?
feats. I don't even know what that means.
What is it that you want out of this title? Is it purely mechanical gain? Do you want a unique factor that helps with your roleplay and character build identity? What is the purpose of the title that you would like? Why is it valuable to you?
I find your combats to be extremely hard, and it discourages me whenever we lose. So I want something that makes that less often.
Okay.
Gene, I think Opal has a really good idea for you.
You
Buddy,
snitch motherfucker.
I love you so much, Gambits. Whenever we're in character, you call me Avery. When we're talking out of character, you call me by my character's name.
Fuck me, I know.
I put everybody in my phone as their character name. I don't put their actual name in my phone.
I would bet good money I'm not in your phone as my character name.
You would be wrong.
Shit, what?
You are there as
I've
Gambit.
existed longer than my... I hate you. Oh, that's not my character name. That's my gamer tag. It's totally different.
Okay, sure.
Okay,
What are
but
you doing, Opal?
I think Opal has a little dumb idea.
He DM'd me talking about fucking my ideas, and I'm like, oh yeah, his wish could do this if he wanted to explore on it. But I'm not trying to be like, yeah, do this with your wish. But he's snitching on me like a fucking snitch right now.
I mean, please give me ideas if that's what you're talking about.
I will DM it to you. I will not be. be put on.
I just checked my phone. I just checked my phone. You're actually in here as strong arms.
Boom, baby.
I forgot.
That's good.
Where's your name at? Hold on.
Oh, dude.
I'll just say it.
Ian is fake Irish.
It's fine. Leave it be.
Avery, she was thinking of a group title.
Oh,
It could still
See?
be what you wish for.
everybody from
I'm
Gates
just
of
saying,
Guardians gets the
it
same
could
title.
it could still be what you wish for, but if it has the power to just spread it, it is less greedy, and it might have less ramifications on greed. If you
That's great.
spread it across to, you take this wish for Corvanus and use it on yourself. If you spread it across the group, at least you're strengthening, traveler souls from across the world.
Yeah, I think the genius idea is the only reason I brought it up again.
Yeah, don't
She
forget,
didn't wanna
we
do
did
it.
Everybody in the group a title. Ooh.
Yeah, she didn't want
It
to
could
do it,
still
but I
be
was like,
your title. I'm just
Yep.
trying to make it sound less greedy, and he who in the giant eyeball that is staring at you, you could word it that it is, you're strengthening traveler souls that connect to other traveler souls that connect to literally it goes on and on.
Opal, you're so
no, I want my
smart.
friends to be cooler.
Fucking snitch.
It's not a snitch.
Blue
He's
Falcon
like,
ass.
this person's
You
a
know
good idea,
better.
but they don't want to share it with you.
You were being the Blue Falcon, if anything. You had a genius idea and kept it quiet for what reason? To fuck
Keep
the
it.
party?
Just keep it.
Yeah. That's what
Yeah.
officers do. I'm gonna
exactly.
watch you guys burn down, and I'm not gonna do shit.
I love the E4 Mafia. I don't do that whole butterbar bullshit.
But yes, that was my thought on your wish. I haven't heard anybody else's, but I'm working on my own. I wasn't trying to railroad yours, but I think a
If
little
anything,
bigger.
I
It's a
You
really
could
good
still
idea.
you could still do it. It's your title to wish for, but if the
I would
wish
like-
has the power
I would
to
like
encompass
chat
it,
to know something that they can't see. This entire time, I have been watching Knob thinking to himself with the fucking Norway nationality, like, trumpeteers in the background. And I'm just like, he's about to fucking wish for some Herald Bluetooth shit. Wouldn't it be better if everyone was Vikings? Do it now.
It's an idea.
make everybody on Corvanus an elf, and they all work.
No, that's a wish. No, that is a wish.
Everyone is now elves.
Damn,
I'm a couple with
I'm
both.
gonna die that Corvanus
No,
is
I will no
now.
longer be
Great.
the elf. Let's go.
that'd be a crazy.
They don't
wish.
deserve it, to be fair. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's the elf superiority coming in.
Question for Hortigast: does Hortigast know of any realms or planes that may be of help to Corvanus in the future? Should they be saved?
Yes. There are the other continents, obviously, to various degrees. There's the inner and outer planes, the inner planes, specifically, around Verum, which are the elemental planes, the Shadowfell, the Feywild. You also have the Deatic planes, which are the outer planes outside of that, composed of the different deities that is primarily worshipped in Kalkatesh. Yeah, things like that.
But he's not able to kind of narrow down a few that may be of specific help to Kalkatesh, to Corvanus. Well,
I think
the survival of us as a whole.
I think the answer to this should be done according to Hortigast's character. The entire reason, this is from his perspective, remember the narrator, the entire reason that he believes that his master was attempting to farm faith within this continent is that, for whatever reason, the people of Corvanus have a stronger faith than those of the other continents, or at least one that is more easily mineable, malleable, manipulatable, and certainly potent. He used his studies from the world of Valkos, which is a entire other planet that is entirely faith-based, as a prime example of studying the Corvins. So he believes that the best way to help Corvanus is to give it an outlet for its faith. Because faith is the faith of the people here is trying to find something to latch onto, trying to find something to believe in. It is why he believes that Matheria, who is just one of many that rose up against demonkind, ascended so quickly within her own lifespan to become a deity. And a human's lifespan to become a deity, mind you. It is the reason why he believes that the spirits of the Antvanti, even though they are not actual deities, that they were facsimiles, homoculi, created by Tyr in order to literally serve as surrogate deities, still retain a potency in their power, despite the people, the Antvanti people, almost dying off completely. Therefore, to Hordegast, he believes that the best source of aid would be the deities, because it would give something for the Corvanus people to believe in. But he also believes that that faith, all that concentrated will cause a deity conflict. Because then, Corvanus is no longer a cut-off, isolated place of wondrous deitical power. It then becomes a gold rush, so to speak, of deities trying to establish themselves to the rich and unused and unclaimed faithful souls that linger within Corvanus. And to suffice this, Hordegast will also reveal that just as their faith is so potent, so too is their belief against it. If that faith is turned inward, to believe in oneself or to believe in the natural realm, he believes that their power could become atheistic and become amalgam to deitic faith, which has been demonstrated by the natural forms of negatia found within certain individuals born in Corvanus. Because normally negatia is not a naturally occurring thing inside of people. He believes that it is only possible because the faith of Corvanus is so potent that when turned to the negative, it produces it. And he believes that if this negation was focused on, then this would cause an atheistic belief to begin.
Sorry to interrupt, but are these blanks you're talking about?
That is what blanks are.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Their bodies are infused with negatia. They are called blanks because the Matherian Church doesn't actually know what they are. They are, according to Hordegast, they are in the midst of discovering what a blank is and how it is produced. His last permeations, the last bit of the last bit of divination that he was casting to keep an eye on that sort of thing, as it would be a direct threat to his master, is that they were discovering certain bloodlines that had naturally recurring negatia in them and were attempting to foster them.
Alright. I have 4 questions, maybe 5. I've been reminded that Craig is a piece of shit. If I wanted to wish Chad dad and his daughter back to life, do they want to come back?
That is something that can be.
Oh my god! No!
Totally lost on what you're talking about, but you do you, sister.
Craig murdered fucking the best dad on the continent. Thomas Samuel Burns. Okay. Could he foresee, not exactly, but a world where the ancients were actually deities, and if the wish could let that happen?
The wish would certainly
deify the ancients.
The wish would certainly assist with that. Hordegast will reveal that the likelihood of the ancients passing from the homoculi that they are into the true deitic realm and becoming deities that are worshipable is all dependent upon a critical battle that is currently happening. For whether he knows it or not, there is an individual that fights alongside the wicked well, whose faith in his people has been slowly but surely filtering into the well. It is being magnified. And upon his potential success, such a thing may be possible.
I really should watch the other fucking streams. I don't know what's going on.
They can use assistance. All right. Big girl question. If I wanted to wish for the ability for traveler souls to aid other traveler souls, would
Ah,
that be something?
that is not a wish that he is capable of making. It is a wish that you are capable of making. For traveler souls can already do that. They simply must discover how.
Mm.
Can you tell me how?
He
Would that
doesn't.
be a?
Hortigast does not know how. He is not a traveler soul. In fact, it is one of the most mysterious phenomenon that the Mad Wizard, his master, has ever encountered. Traveler souls seem to come from nowhere, and yet seem to be at the center of everything. Their propensity to retain knowledge, to resist the corruptive power of the colors, to focus themselves upon fate, to twist the tapestry to their will, even in indirect methodologies, and indeed, the way that their facets can create different personas that reflect themselves across the living and waking realm, depict as traveler souls to be the systemic anomaly of creation, to be the exception, to be the source of hope in an otherwise hopeless world. It is why he believes that the seven, who are mostly comprised of traveler souls, have ascended to their peculiar state of deityhood, in which one does not choose to worship them, one simply depends on them whether they know it or not. It is why the Week of Peace, the only shared holiday throughout creation, is respected by most entities, even evil ones, because of their sacrifice for all creation. He explains that the Mad Wizard Tyr was close to something. In the ramblings that he recalls, speaking with his master before his disappearance, was that he was close to replicating what he believed to be a false soul, one that he might be able to morph into a traveler's soul, one that he believes could even be a false iteration, one in which to trap the great enemy.
Mm-hmm.
But he never heard from his master again.
Well, I think I know what I'm wishing for, but I'm going to run it through some hypotheticals on my end.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure out what I want to wish for.
Okay, you could just give me the list of every single title you have.
Sure.
No, actually,
Sure. Can you post it?
I'm going to sip my glass of ice cold piss about it.
The only one could be active at the time anyway, but yeah.
I wish to have every title active at the same time.
Some of them, I imagine some of them would be counterintuitive.
That would destroy him.
Yeah,
In real life, he would implode.
Oh.
He would turn to dust on
Wait,
camera.
wait. Can I go last then? If everybody goes first, can I go?
You're not wishing that upon me. You're not wishing that upon me. You are. I know where you're stationed. I was about to dox the shit out of you, but I won't do that. I know where you are.
Yeah, come find me.
Please, I'm so alone.
I'm free to help yap about wishes while I run through mine. I know I was yapping with Pax a little bit. Whenever she gets back, she'd like to do some RP, but I am free until then. As I'm probably going to play with the So pretty much, I'm sure we'll roleplay some of these, but above board, my idea of, without directly pressing my idea of peace onto the continent, traveler souls are the reason that we are here and we are surviving, and they are the future. So if we are able to aid and assist other traveler souls, it might aid in the existence of our future and peace without directly, saying I think all dwarves should be in charge because they'll bring peace. That might not be agreed through everybody else. So that's what I'm going to start cooking on.
Wait,
The dwarves should be in charge of everything.
one more time.
What wish or the idea behind the wish?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm probably going to cook on either a player title for everybody, or depending on how strong it is, where traveler souls can go assist other traveler souls, Hortigas doesn't know much about it because he's not a traveler soul, so I'm going to cook
Mhm.
on it. I don't know what that would actually be. Should I wish for it? My idea is that I don't know. You can go aid another fucking group of traveler souls in their combat or something. Or something
You just
like
joined
that.
the Discord call, forehead.
Yeah, or something like that.
What if you and everywhere you go?
And everywhere you look.
Me shitting myself.
But yeah, that's
Dude,
what I
I'd
was
never
just
do
thinking.
that. I want y'all to know that I would never come and help any of you, ever.
Of course, it's a choice.
Oh.
But
We know, Avery. We know.
yeah, but you can also call
Well,
the
there's
help
at least
of other
one
traveler
person
souls
you would
thinking.
help here. Maybe two.
You missed.
Hey, and you see I got it right that time? I didn't call you Gene.
And Anfa, he's been like subtly helping
Nah,
Anfa.
he wouldn't. No.
Oh, dude, I would not. I
No,
would let
I know
Sonny
he
fucking
wouldn't.
drown.
It depends on how Nist feels about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
God, there's a fucking quote from Dwight from The Office, but I can't remember what it was. But it was along the lines of like, "I'll sit there and watch and let him drown."
Here's my list of wishes so far. I've put together.
Well, we have notes.
No, I've been doing it on my own personal notes.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't want to. I would rather that our own notes be for the final wish than a model of just ramblings. Yeah, that's what I have so far. I'm trying not to be super selfish.
Nice.
We each
Selfishness
get one.
may be the answer here. You just have to do it in the right way.
One thing about
Like to
that
see
last
my
one,
boxes?
Stoney, the fragment is sitting it, remember? It's given advice to the Duke.
Okay.
Notes.
Alright. Of course, that's number one.
I like how all of yours, Knob, have to do with either Babylon or elves.
Knob's
Yes.
entire wish list is killing me, dude.
Knobs is so in
Babylon?
character.
Babylon?
Holy
Dude, I
shit.
thought I was being
Yes.
selfish. You can
To be
you can
fair,
do
two
this
of
for
my
your-
characters do follow Babylon.
Okay. I was gonna say, this pertains to all of your characters, right? But
Yes.
hey, man, if they follow
That is,
Babylon,
I adore
He-
all of Knob's
He
wishes.
likes.
That
he
is
likes,
actually crazy.
He likes Babylon. No, that.
Knob has already said. Knob's already.
I thought
I
Calico
thought
hates
he's already
him, but
come to the
hey.
conclusion
I
that all
love
his
this
characters
contrast.
will also follow Babylon.
I love this contrast between me and Knob here. I'm sitting here being like, here's all these wishes that, like, for the most part, is like stuff that'll benefit other groups and like isn't just all about me and our group, right? Like, and then it's just me, mine, Babylon,
I
mine,
wish that
me.
Babylon owned the Wayward Tower.
Yes.
Weren't you tasked in the beginning with setting up a shrine in the Wayward Tower?
Kind of and kind of not. They said it would be a great boon. They didn't say I have to do it, but it would
Yeah.
be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
A great boon, my lord. Instead of a shrine, I give you the whole tower.
Because I'm a dragon.
Or the continent.
Slayer girl.
Oh man.
Oh,
Christ.
yeah.
See, like the other thing I'm stuck because I'm looking at the continent map right now. I'm just trying to figure out, like, I want this to be meaningful. I don't want it to just be something that's done, you know?
I wish that Arcadum had to DoorDash me a chocolate milkshake right now.
Okay. Throw
No,
me that,
no,
throw me that, throw me
no.
that Addy, baby boy.
I live in the middle of the woods. I don't get DoorDash out here. They do not come out here. They know not to.
I'm assuming it's taking a little bit of time to get that entire list of feats.
Titles? Yeah, it's taking a bit.
Yeah,
I gotta
good
go
God,
back
that-
through all of 7 years.
Jesus Christ.
Thankfully, I have all of these into a single spot where they are all collected because I'm more organized than some might think. But there are just a lot of them. I think there's something like 100 titles or so.
Nice.
It's.
I'll be
I see
reading all
this
of
is going
those.
to be our entire session, and I'm fine with that.
I mean, the wish
My-
I need to
definitely
put on
will
my
be.
reading
My
glasses.
brain is burning right now.
I'm see because there's man.
Okay. Oh yeah. I
Put on my reading glasses and my cowboy hat.
I'm a dragon slayer.
Ready?
Oh yeah.
Isn't this riveting, chat? I forget we stream this sometimes.
It's so crazy. It's too bad you can't see Avery in his very fancy cowboy hat.
This hat's a family heirloom.
Yeah. Is it really?
I mean, it's gonna be whenever I have children and give it to them. But no, I bought
Hey, there we go.
this hat for like $100.
The orb's gonna be buried with you, though, right?
Soon I will have
The orb? No,
They
that's.
shall inherit the might.
I don't know where that came from.
My hat will be
It was just on my desk one day.
Really?
Divine intervention.
Interesting.
Emperor's edict. That's one.
It changes colors too. You know,
The gilded
throughout our fight, it was violet.
paragon.
Oh, wait.
I can't really think of many wishes, honestly.
Fucking bathed.
I'm kind of caught, like, how powerful should I make it? What is realistic, right? How egotistical should I be?
Very.
This is going to make his next wish, Arcadum. I wish that everybody had to play on Glaeus with me in our next campaigns.
Hey,
Why stop on Glaeus? There's a
everyone
whole
must
planet.
everyone must play with me at all times. I'm in every game.
Arcadum, I wish you didn't have to pay for the
I
games
cannot handle
anymore.
that much D&D as much as I would like to.
The end goal of this is peace for Corvanis. They're gonna have it though, but it's only gonna
Yes.
last so long. And peace isn't just what.
Oh, you mean the end goal is to save the world, or would you rather rule it?
One
I
bro
hope
says we need to
for
fix the
all
world
of these
instead of save
Soulfox's
the world.
characters to be in charge. I wish Annabelle was married to Eden. Bless you.
I wish.
Who?
I wish people. Okay. All right, here we go. Got the last ones here.
Lay it on me, boss. My body's ready.
There's an
This word
axolotl in the pink stare. Is an axolotl supposed to be there?
What if I redirect the faithful Corvanus to the yokai?
Remember that religion war that Portugas was just talking about?
Yeah.
That might happen.
I really
How
feel like
people are
Nob is
gonna
like,
react
what
to
if I
that?
just open up Corvanus to the outer planes, but let Babylon be first in line?
Quite literally, that's what they think is the angle.
That is one of my wishes,
What's
yes.
going on
Yeah,
there.
see, Nob means it because he wants Babylon to just be in charge and
Okay.
doesn't care.
That
Here
would
you
be
go.
peace.
In notes.
You know?
Looking at notes.
These
It's
are
notes.
the current titles that are available. These are not the only ones. These are just the ones that players have discovered. And here you go.
Jesus Christ.
I'll do a quick readout for them. They are The Crazy, The Swamp Rider, The Welcome Map, The Dragon Slayer, Assault Captain, The Caring, The Streaker, The 1K Club, Infernal Denial, The Adopted, Got What It Takes, Breasts/Balls of Steel, Lifebringer, Anvil for Your Buck, Silent Vigil, The Lifebringer, Hyperion Cannon, Streaker, Quick Wits, Tidal Tacular, Dicecro, Emperor's Edict, Seal Forger, Word Wizard, Welcome Mat. Oh, that one's on there twice. Ah, shit. Trapdoor Spider, The Gilded, Paragon, The Bathed, Anatromic Animosity, Better Lucky Than Good, Bath Time, Iron Chef, Cookie, Socket Jones, The Naughty, Mr./Mrs., You Seem Mad, Hallowed, Shepherd of the Dead, Old Friends, Order of the Unseen Hand, Dragon Slayer, that's on there a second time, sorry. Silent Vigil, that's on there a second time, sorry. And Cookie, fuck. Eat This, Flash Mob, Girlfriend/Boyfriend, Thunder Thief, Savior, Selfless Hero, Tempered in War, Carnal, Shock and Awe, King of the Jungle, Elder of the Growling Depths, Commodore, Siege Master, Mother of God, Emperor's Edict, The Gilded, Paragon, The Bathed. Oh, that one's on there again. Fuck. Iron Chef, Hope Kindler, Worthy, All In, Chosen, Scion, Survivor, Traveler, What May Come, and Shining Soul.
Wow.
Please tell me what title tacular is.
So title tacular means that you can have more than one title slot active at a time, and it doesn't count towards your maximum. So I once had a character that got 4 titles. He had title tacular, he had old friends, and then he had 3 other titles. So it was actually 5 total.
Wow.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Title tacular means you can have more than one title.
I see.
Gives me a dragon egg.
Oh, actually, hold on. I
character
had to look it up again. So, Old Friends gives you an additional title. Title Tacular, which can only be taken if you have more than one title slot, gives you 4 title slots. So, it's like the improved version of that one.
I see.
There you go.
I do not want to ask you to type out what all of those mean, but I wish I knew what all of those meant.
I can just tell you the ones you're interested in, what they do. Like I know what they do. The problem is that many of them might have to translate into 5e terms because these are from Pathfinder. So some of their rule sets wouldn't make sense anyway if I posted them, which is why I didn't.
What is Elder of the Growling Depths?
So Elder of the Growling Depths is actually the Elder title. It is Elder of something. Elder means that you are considered the venerable leader in a society that values lifespan as the leadership quality. Elder, its base mechanic is that it increases your character's lifespan by the next step. So if you're an orc, you go to human. If you're human, you go to half elf. If you're half elf, you go to dwarf. If you're dwarf, you go to elf. If you're elf, you go to Eldar. Stuff like that.
What's after Eldar?
After Eldar is Shroud, because technically they have negative lifespans.
Oh, reverse integer overflow. Cool.
Yeah.
What is a Scion title?
So a Scion is similar to the Elder, except you are the leader of a specific faction or nation, and you are considered an honored member of that. You are promoted through merit rather than lifetime. A Scion has to be associated with something, much like Elder. So if you were, let's say, the Scion of... I'll use the Hakari Knights as an example, right? If you were a Scion of the Hakari Knights, you'd be able to... Every character you have from that point forward could have the equipment of the Hakari Knights, would be able to wield their weapons, use their abilities, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what Scion is.
I just want to know what this one is because it looks weird. Diasocro?
So Diasocro is actually it's similar to the other two. It is specifically it is a unigeneral representation of a ruling class of an outer plane. In this case, it was used for the Shadowfell. It was the name given to the player that rose to become the Emperor, or Diasocro in the common tongue, of the Shadowfell, because he married the Empress of the Shadowfell.
Wait, I know that. I know who you're talking about. I remember
Orson Oakenshield is his name.
Yeah.
Yep, that's his title.
Oh my gosh. I remember him coming up. So cool.
Yeah.
Please tell me Balls of Steel.
So balls or breasts of steel means that your characters are immune to fear. Specifically, it is gained in which a character whom is not immune to fear makes 5 saves in a row against fear and makes them.
Oh shit. I know what I'm doing.
Are we learning how to gain these titles too?
That's how they were gained in Pathfinder. That wouldn't be the case.
I see. Okay.
You get an idea how.
I'm concerned.
Don't how exactly.
I'm concerned what Welcome Mat would be.
Welcome Mat is you negate the first attack that you would suffer in combat. It was gained from people that were always attacked first in combat 5 times in a row.
Oof.
Yeah, or something like that. That one actually has changed a lot, but that's probably the version I'm going with.
Stop attacking me first, please.
So, guys, we talked about wishing for titles for the party. We now know that it's possible to have 4 titles active at once.
I'm not wishing for a title.
We usually 4 of us wish for a title. One person wishes that everybody gets title-tacular, and the next 3 wish for an actual title.
Does title-tacular require you to have the other one first?
It requires you to have more. It requires you to have more than one title slot already.
Yeah, but, well, I mean, because like, is the prerequisite to have title-tacular to have the one that allows you to have 1 additional?
Yes.
The old friend.
You have to have
Yeah,
a title that gives you 1 additional.
So technically speaking, we need 6 people to wish for a title for the party.
That's not happening.
Well,
Nope.
I don't think it's happening.
I mean, not with
I'm
that.
willing to wish for.
No, that. Attitude.
I'm willing to wish for old friend.
I'm just saying.
You're not speaking for everybody. They can convince me of anything. Like,
You guys are so greedy.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So, like, half the people on the continent that haven't been greedy and have been greedy have all been making the wrong choice. We're making our own choices here, so you can.
It's
you
their
can say
choice.
whatever's
If
greedy.
you wanted it, you could have like.
You here talking about giving all the faith to the yokai? Shut your mouth, all right, you little fucking bat.
Hey!
Yeah,
Give all the faith for all the gods to the yokai. I'm sure they
one.
won't. I'm sure they won't do terrible things to everybody else.
Damn.
It's better to just
Okay.
stick to this one on.
Fucking don't fucking come at
Arcadum,
me about greed.
Purely unrelated, could you tell me what the title "You Seem Mad" is about?
You See Mad is a title that makes you immune to confusion and madness.
Okay.
Specifically, it is granted. It was granted in the day back in the day when you made enough saves against those effects, or in the case of where you were insane and then cured that insanity by tricking yourself into becoming cured, which is what happened in that case.
Interesting.
Could you wish for a custom class? Of course, like the one that's made
I
like
need to think.
player and DM.
Is there a difference between Cobalt Paragon and Paragon?
Brother, he's
No,
thinking.
no, I double typed those. Paragon is the
Oh, I
X. So you know how Scion it has to be applied. Paragon is applied to a race. You
Gotcha.
are the chosen of that race.
Call
So
somebody else
the
fucking
problem-
greedy.
the
I
prob-
saved your life. You didn't even say thank you yet.
So the
Thank
problem
you.
with a custom. So to answer your question, yes, you could do that for a custom class. The problem is that I haven't written the system I'll be playing in after here. I haven't finished it yet, so I have no guarantee on how that class will look. But yes, it is possible. I just want to harbor expectation. I have not finished the system yet in which you would be able to play that.
It feels like you'd be cashing in your wish a little bit later.
Yeah.
If you did wish for that.
I mean, it could just be a player title where you and the DM create like a character together.
I'm already doing that, but class-wise, if I were to employ that wish, I'd have to make it based off of a set of parameters and wishes. But it'd still be like I'd have to make it fit the system. Like it had to make sense.
Yeah.
And then I'd have to consider, can other people take it?
No.
Because if it's a class, then that means it's selectable. Right?
You have to make out with Miss Steel Fox at least once.
Okay.
What is Flash Mob?
So that one is actually a group title. It is not a singular title. Flash Mob occurs whenever there is... So it was originally given out if every member of the party was stricken by Unstoppable Dance.
Yeah.
Irresistible Dance. Or its version of Pathfinder. And they spend an entire turn dancing instead of taking any of their actions. Flash Mob makes it to where you have advantage on reflex saving, or excuse me, in this case, dexterity saving throws.
I see.
Flash Mob was a very funny title. That one also changed a lot. That one had some other versions of it.
I'm also curious about like the Mr. and Mrs. and girlfriend and boyfriend.
So that was Mr. and Mrs. were for characters that got married in game. It was a title that the title doesn't actually do anything. What it does is it connects you to the person in game, and it gives you some story interaction with them, like your souls are tied and a bunch of other cool stuff. This is doubled in potency if it's done between players. Girlfriend and Boyfriend were a title that were made by people that wanted relationships but didn't want to get married because they didn't want to empower the god of oaths. So it's essentially the same as Mr. and Mrs.
I see.
Yeah. It's the hippie choice. Essentially.
I don't judge. Not that Gene would ever be able to take this, but what is Selfless Hero?
Alright, so Selfless Hero is quite a potent title. Selfless Hero was only given out to players/characters that exhibited themselves of truly heroic qualities, such as what Grammar did for his party, stuff like that. What it does is it allows you to stand up when you would otherwise fail once in a campaign. It's one of the true revives in the game. Specifically, I only ever had a player actually activate the title once, and it was in a fight against, I believe it was one of the Mad Dragon. No, it was the Mad Dragon. It was one of the Mad Dragons. I believe it was the Green Dragon, in which his entire party had been wiped out, and the dragon was going to like kill this village, and he enacted Selfless Hero to stand up and fight the dragon one-on-one. It's pretty.
That's pretty peak, actually.
Yeah. I miss running for that guy. But he died, so it is what it is.
The guy or the character?
No, the character did. He's.
Oh.
I don't know where he is. I've only ever had one player die on me.
Jeez.
He died of old age. At least I think so. I don't know. I actually received rumors that he didn't die and that people were fucking with me, which I think is kind of messed up. But I think he's the only one I've ever had actually die on me.
Jesus. Is King of the Jungle another one of those like peak titles, but only for the jungle?
So that one is specifically for King of the Jungle, King of the Streets, stuff like that. That is a... You could look at it as a skill-based title. Like, you're the epitome of a skill. For the King of the Jungle one, it was tracking. For, like, King of the Streets, it could be, like, hustling. Stuff like that.
What is carnal? Yeah.
That's a sexy one.
Cardinal?
Carnal.
Carnal.
Oh, carnal.
As in carnal.
Yeah, okay, I see it.
What's the benefit, boss? Extra stamina?
If you must know, the benefit of carnal is that your procreation rate is always 100%, even if magically protected.
Jesus.
Interesting.
It's actually a cursed title.
Ah.
I was about to say.
Yeah, it was given to certain people. Yeah.
Woo! I mean, that'd be great if it was like, oh man, I can't have children. How do I go about attaining this curse?
Yeah, exactly. So it's pretty messed up.
Let's move on. What's Thunder Thief?
Thunder Thief is... Oh, God. I think that's a Storm Giant Slayer title. That's one of the ones I uniquely made for a character who, I swear to God, hated giants and killed 13 storm giants throughout his career.
Wow.
That's wild.
13 of them. Like,
Across multiple characters?
Yes, which is why he got the title. He played 3 characters, and in each character, he killed up to a total of 13 giants across all 3 of them. And they were all storm giants. And when I asked
That's at least 4 per character.
I was like, why do you hate giants? He's like, too tall. And I was like, what? Okay, but why storm giants? And he says, I don't like blue. What?
I love blue.
Yeah, he's just, that guy was a little weird, but he just killed. Like, are there giants up in those mountains? Yes. Are they storm giants? I mean, there could be. I'm going. You could choose to follow me or not, party. And he'd just kill him.
Jesus, guy.
And so I made that one up for him. That
What
one,
did it do for him?
Oh, I made him immune to lightning and thunder damage. Or sonic, in that case.
See, I would have just long pause. You seem mad, bro.
Yeah, he is just... That dude was just... That dude was crazy. Oh, man. I think I gave it out to another player, too, because I was like, this is a pretty good title. I think I gave it out to someone else who did something with storms, but that's where it was originally made, with some fucking crazy person. Which I hate storm giants. I was like, okay, I guess.
I thought it was going to be like something where you swoop in and steal somebody's thunder.
No,
but
he's just killing people. Or giants. Giant
what
people.
about anatromic animosity?
That is a same thing as Thunder Thief, except for constructs. The original title was given to a player who hated constructs. They played one character. They broke everything. They destroyed toys. They broke robots, even helpful ones. And there was an artificer type character in the party too, an alchemist, who liked making little robots, and they would just break them in front of them without any remorse whatsoever. It's like, why would you do that? And he's just like, you know what you did. And he breaks it. They're right in front of him. Yeah, dude, I think his kill count was like 32 constructs before his career ended, before his character died. It was incredible. Jeez. Like, and I don't mean like 32 that the party killed. 32 he killed himself. Because he would be like, let me solo this one. You can damage the other one, not this one. He wanted all of it. He wanted the whole pie. To his words, he wanted to feel the metal crunch. He wanted to watch the oil drip, and he wanted the lights of its embering eyes to spark out. He hated constructs. I don't know why.
I would love to see how he would interact with somebody who's like half organic, half construct.
Yeah,
like how
Iron
Black was.
Yeah. Good old porcelain head.
Hey.
Just out of pure curiosity, what's the bathed?
So, this was a secret title that I would give out to characters that specifically, consistently roleplayed hygiene. Like, they would roleplay taking baths. They would roleplay doing their hair, filing their nails, brushing their teeth, stuff like that. You'd be
Sounds
surprised.
like another party we know.
You would be surprised on how rarely players actually roleplay that with their characters. It does not happen. Hell, there are players also that don't roleplay going to the bathroom.
I've seen more players roleplay pissing than I have roleplay cleaning themselves.
Yeah, like washing their hands.
Well,
or taking a
there's
bath.
a whole group that straight up has bath time every time they have a new player.
That's true.
Well, that's more so they go to the hot springs to hang out, not because for hygiene purposes.
It's still funny. I found it funny because I was like, eh.
But anyway, do we have any other wishes people want to talk about?
I almost want to just see what everyone else is, because my wishes I'm going to post it in the notes what I have, so I'm like just waiting to see what other people do. I just don't want to step on toes.
Sorry, chat said something funny. I didn't think about it. It's like, Arcadum, they didn't pay for a game to shit on company time. that's God,
Yeah.
that works in like several layers. That is a good joke. Like that's so good. I'm not here to shit on company time. Anyway.
Could you wish to become a god?
Finally. A spicy one. Okay. Let's talk about deification. Rubs hands together. So, to deify a traveler's soul is a very difficult thing to do. It is not impossible. Looks at camera. Eyebrow wriggles, looks at title, points, underlines. How this works is like this. If you make a wish to do so, it can spark divinity in your traveler's soul. The divine spark then makes the flame of your torch change forever. It comes with good things and with bad things. There are pros and cons to having a deified traveler's soul. Most notably, once you deify your traveler's soul, every character from that point forward that you play is a demigod. It has divinity in its blood, for better or worse. That means shit that hurts deities hurts you. That means things that affect them affects you. Most notably, the characters that you play from that point forward are considered aspects of a centralized character, which is the representation of your player soul as a deity. For example, Mytheria, who inadvertently was ascended to deityhood, even though she didn't want to, is a fairly good example of this, where she has different aspects of herself, the Weeping Maiden, the Sword of Light, things like that. You would take on a similar concourse, where your characters that you play would be considered different avatars of that deity. You following me so far?
Yeah.
So, if you do that, you can begin to deify your traveler's soul, and certain actions that you take in other characters can strengthen that traveler's soul. Slowly, you can begin to ascend the deification of your traveler's soul. That could result in you being officially added to a pantheon, should you do it long and hard enough.
How long and hard would we have to do it? Just for
It would take. I'm not going to mince it for you. It will take several years of IRL time. It will take a lot of playing. It will take a lot of work, but it is something you can accomplish. I'll give you some examples. I've had this happen one time. There was a player I used to have whose name was Sir Nerp. He used to be my map maker during the Violet arc. And he did something similar, although with a slight caveat of a difference. He believed himself so hard through the course of his play that he was a deity in service to Aristil, the then Pathfinder god of like nature and rangers and stuff, that he then became one. He then, through the course of play, kept making offerings, kept empowering his divine connection, and eventually the deity that he wanted to serve, which is a dragon of Aristil, became an actual avatar of Aristil. And had he kept playing, there is even a chance that that would have been ascended to a full deity that takes its place in the pantheons. So, it should be noted that those were the Pathfinder gods before I made my own gods, and all their power and all their progress transferred to the new ones. So in this case, it would be like, I believe Aristil's under Talvin, so he would be in service to Talvin. So, but anyway.
Okay.
But to answer your question, yes, you can use your wish to start the spark of divinity. And the reason why I say it'll take several years of play is because you need to reproduce these levels of rewards in order to empower it, right? Which means you need to complete campaigns, you need to seek those rewards, and you can understand that could take a long time because you need to level up characters to that point in their storylines to gain access to those reward types. Which is why it would take time to do that. But it
But
is
if
something
you
you could do.
But so basically, make sure I understand this. So if we do go that route and make that wish, each of our future characters will be a piece of this character.
Yes.
Okay.
Or more accurately to say, the aspect of your traveler's soul, which is in all of your characters due to the meta rules, would be represented in game not as the mysterious Amalga's traveler's soul, but rather as an actual pining deity, one that is actually growing. Yeah.
That is affected by the world that it's currently in.
Yeah, it becomes more. It gets both the pros of being in the world direct and the cons of it as well.
So if somebody had a deatic traveler soul and they were like here or in conflicts, things that like places that didn't have that much access to God, they would have been hindered?
Well, most places actually do have access to the deities. The differentials there is whether or not they are able to translate their wills and wishes through the dream. See, amongst Conflux's many problems is that it was having trouble with the dream, which is also one of the problems that Corvanus has, is its connections to the dream were stifled or severed. And this was intended because if you're connected to the dream, then you are connected to the byway in which faith can be translated to those deities, and the deities therefore can be manifested. So it essentially becomes that it's not so much that faith can't survive in some places, it's that the way that faith survives is different because of its connection to the dream. So like Corvanus, for example, has an incredible amount of faith, but no deity to latch onto because Tyr cut it off from the dream, which is why it has been fairly easy for Tyr to control an entire region, like the entire realm of Corvanus, by giving them things to put their faith in that he could manipulate. Like the Church of Light, for example, which then became the Church of Mytheria, and so on and so forth. It's actually the reason why, also, raise up finger, that when Mytheria was Violet deathed and taken, like all other servants of the Violet, that her faith was able to survive. But it simply survived as faith in the church, not her. Which is why the dogma of Mytheria is so messed up in the Pale City, why her litanies are so sporadic, and why the direct dogma and the direct teachings are so dispirited beyond, because the main central aspect was killed by Violet Death. And for those of you that know what Violet Death means, that means that all memory of that person is gone. So what do you do with a faith that believes in someone that everyone is supposed to forget? You see what I mean? So my ending bit there was that the faith was superpowered, and essentially Mytheria, the concept, was what they believed in, not necessarily what the goddess actually was, which is why she was able to become a goddess, even though she herself did not want to be. I actually based it somewhat on how the Emperor in 40k is treated. The Emperor in 40k is not an actual deity, and he doesn't want to be one. But he is because his people believe he is, despite his wishes. So on and so forth. Kind of like that. But
I knew that much about 40k.
Yeah, essentially, the answer to your question for deification, though, it is a long process. And you could use this wish to begin, but I want to make sure that there's expectations. That if you want an immediate payout from a wish, wishing for deification will take time. You'll have to feed into it more. It is not something you're going to get a direct payout. It is a huge investment. So my advice is don't go down that path unless you are prepared to accept those requirements. I suppose I could go over what the immediate benefit would be. The immediate benefits of demigodhood for your next character, let's say an Aeolin class, right? Might give you the ability to use a faith ability once in a character that isn't faith-based. Or might give you the ability to augment a faith ability of a faith-based character in a different way once. But as time goes on, and as you accumulate accomplishments, as the facet of the deatic soul gets more and more potent and powerful, that could change. Like, for example, everyone here knows who Crowley is, right? Out of my deity list. He started as a player. Yeah.
Oh.
He started as a player. But the player couldn't play anymore. So I took his story And I actually continued it because I was so enthralled by his character. So.
But it wouldn't
That's
give
actually,
immediate.
I think that'd be one of the
You wouldn't
greatest
give that immediate
compliments.
stuff right now to current characters.
What's up?
If you did that, it wouldn't give that immediate, like, the potential to use that faith ability once to, like, immediate characters right now.
I'd have to think on that. But the answer isn't no.
Okay.
What are
Any
the
other
cons?
questions on deification? Because I've got questions that are not related to that.
What was your question?
I was just seeing if anybody had
what
other
are the-
questions on deification.
I have one.
What's
What
up?
are the cons?
So, some of the cons of being directly tied to a deity soul means that you are not directly a traveler soul anymore. Which means that you can't use color powers. That's probably the biggest con. Once you become a deity soul, you gain your own faith and your own source of hope. You can't manipulate the colors anymore. And the further and further that you get down the deitic path, the more and more detached from the powers of mortals you gain. So that means eventually you'll lose the ability to use inspiration or benefit from inspiration. Eventually you'll lose the ability to use and benefit from birthday 20s. And then eventually you'll be cut off completely from mortal manipulations. And you'll gain immortal powers, which will be exalted through your characters. It's a trading of connection, because remember, the power of the 7, of hope, of like hope clashing, of re-rolling dice, all of that is meta represented by the mysterious entity of the Traveler's Soul. No one knows why you can do it. It's just that you can. That's why you're one of the sources of hope. And it's also why the 7 are not actually a true deity, because it is mortals. It is a power that is associated only with a mortal soul. So if you become a deity, you become less and less and less mortal, right? So you lose those powers in exchange for the other route that you take. So.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it works.
So I have a question.
Yep.
If we go that deity route, and let's say like Grammar pairs up with Paxel, and we both go the deity route, and we want to do like a paired deity situation where there's two gods of similar but opposing sides that work together. Would it be possible, even if we're in different campaigns and doing our own thing separately from each other, or if one of us takes a break, that progression be shared between the two? So if we're both actively playing and actively get to this point, separately we both make that same wish later on down the road of wishing for deity and wishing for deity, would it push both of us further at once?
Okay, so my answer to that question is yes, you can do a paired deity. No more than 2, though. Only paired deities,
Okay.
no triplets or further beyond.
Okay.
But if you do a paired deity, you both count for your progression, but you do not double your progression. Your progression is the
Okay.
same as a normal player would.
So if one person gets there and the other one doesn't, to make that kind of a wish, you still get progression as a pair.
Yes.
Okay.
But if you both are still playing actively and you both get a wish, you don't get double progression.
Okay. Follow up to that. If a player takes a hiatus and that person comes back later, would the progression still continue on at wherever they pick back up at?
When I give a reward to a player, that reward is eternal.
Okay.
A player reward is forever and always. Even if we have a falling out. Stir still has his titles, for example. Like
If you and I were going to have a falling out, it would have happened a long time ago.
Well, I'm just saying that's how serious I take it. Once you gain something as a player, you have it for good. Now, what aspect it might take, like I'm doing a system change, for example, so some things might be different in the future, but you'll always have that reward in whatever methodology that you take. Unless game circumstances remove it, obviously. Things can happen, but it'll never be taken away from you due to, like, I took a break. You don't have to worry about that. It's kind of like the same thing that I do for military players. It's kind of like how they are given more lenience on missing sessions and stuff which is something I used to, it used to be more relevant than the current model that we have now. But yeah.
That reminds me, I got to talk to you about some stuff after session.
Okay,
if you get a minute.
Good. Sounds good. So yeah, good question. Deification is something you can do. You had other questions, Avery?
Yeah. So you asked me what I wanted out of the player title initially, and I told you that I find your combats extremely hard, and it's discouraging whenever we lose, and I want to lose less often. Okay. Did you have a suggestion or something?
The moment you're about to lose, combat restarts, except for you keep all your knowledge.
You can call the title "The Crybaby."
No.
You can choose the easy one.
No. I think. Okay, I'm going to choose to answer this in two parts. First will be the addressment of difficult combat and why combat is difficult. Because I think the why of combat being difficult is actually more important of a question to solidify than it is what the solution will be. Because the problem of why it's difficult is I think something that can dilute the process. Combat and how I design it, most of the time, now this is a generalization, this doesn't mean this group specifically or another group, this is in the general aspect of my career as I have developed it. More often than not, the difficulty of combat is exacerbated, there we go. It is exacerbated by players, not the design. And what I mean by that is that when players take longer on their turns, when players aren't paying attention to turns that aren't their own, when players don't know their own abilities and haven't studied their abilities, or players are unfamiliar with their allies' abilities, player skill is a more determinant factor in the difficulty of the combat than the actual design is by a pretty large degree through my concourse, right? And that, and I'll explain what I mean by that. And once again, I want to be clear, this is just a generalization of my experience. I'm not targeting anyone. But everyone here, through the games that you have played, or the games that you have watched, or the people that you have spoken to, know that there are different skill levels among the players. That is inescapable. There are also different levels of understanding of the mechanics and abilities that you have, and that others have, through different degrees. Some people have no idea how some of their allied party members actually work and their mechanics, and therefore are unable, for the most part, to provide a cognitive advantage in the dissolution of a proper action to be taken during a critical moment, right? That's really what it comes down to, is to do a TLDR. Most of the time when you guys lose combat, it's because players fuck up from not paying attention or not retaining the information of their own characters. I've seen it happen way more often than these mechanics were just either a bad matchup or they were improperly designed. Now, I'll take plenty of the L's on the times when I did fuck up design. That's happened plenty of times. That happened earlier in my career, as is how these things work. But the problem is that most of the time when I'm running for players, they're either brand new to playing D&D in general, or they're new to how I do things. That's what makes Alien Class so exciting to me, is that I will now have a group of relatively veteran players. I won't be starting from the beginning again. And I think that's something to keep in mind. So it is difficult for me to make a title for you to give you what you want, because I can't affect other players. It's not really reciprocal of me to give you a title that will make it easier for you to win, when that might not actually be the case. Because many times the reason that your party might lose is because of what I just stated, right? Mm-hmm. By a pretty I would say, if I had to put it in percentages, I would say 75% of major mistakes happen in gameplay because a player didn't read their abilities, or more importantly, they didn't read a boss ability very carefully. And also, I'd say a solid maybe 5% of the time, it's because I misspoke, which caused confusion. That has certainly happened, and I'll take responsibility for it. But more often than not, it has happened that a player just doesn't understand, or more intrinsically, they don't think beyond what the abilities state. Because one of the valuable points of using tactics, like using marshaling tactics for the boss, why is that valuable? Because if you know what the boss is going to do next, you can then ask the next question of, why is he doing that? And then you might be able to go, oh, he means to use these abilities in this way, which the abilities don't specifically state that they can be used that way, but they can, but it's not stated in the strategy. So I think the best way, that's the first part of the answer to your question. The second part is, how can I make it to where you will lose less? The only way that I could help you lose less in a game for a player title is through information. It is the most powerful form of aid that I think I could really give a player. I mean, without being ridiculous. Yes, I could just say, you're invincible and can never die, but that goes against the spirit of the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
But to actually answer, I think the best way to actually deal with what your question is and your desire is information. More importantly, critical information. Most of the time, this is done through the trait system, like cunning, or ruthless, or hexer, or recovery, tactician, or one of my personal favorites in Corvanus lately, overwhelm. Because, for those who don't know what overwhelm is the tactic that states that I do not have pacing. Most of the time, my bosses are slow to start, because it gives you time to learn. It gives you time to adapt, right? Most of the time, bosses don't come out the gate with their full abilities online or being used at their full potential. It takes time. Overwhelm means that boss doesn't have that limitation and hits the ground running and starts punching you in the face, right? So, I think that a title that could help with you, that I think could be translatable to Prism, is possibly something to do with information, such as the ability to use acumen, which will be what martial checks will turn into in Prism. So basically that you can always martial check, no matter what character you're playing. And if you do choose a character...
There is the title, What May Come.
Yeah, that's a good example as well. I think that's the closest I can get to your answer, like to a solution to your desire that you wanted, because it's really hard for me to be able to mechanically affect the direct decision making of players to study their characters. I can't really make them do that.
Yeah. My weakness comes in that there have been fights where we get all of the information at the forefront, right? Like we martial checked all the enemies before we even started initiative. So we had all their information beforehand. And yeah, we had it all, but I had no idea how to utilize that information effectively. Right? I'm not that forward thinking whenever it comes to tactics and combat like that.
Well, I think I hope you're not offended by me saying this, but this is the most honest way I can answer it. I think you would be denying yourself the fun of the game to overwhelm your challenge if I were to make a title for you that would tell you what to do. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why in games like Doom or whatever, where baby mode, is called baby mode and easy mode, it's because, yes, you could pick that, but you're denying yourself. First of all, you're diminishing your own abilities. Number one, and number two, I think it's fair to say that it is my personal philosophy when it comes to encounter design that high stakes difficulty depicts triumph. Now, granted, not everybody will agree with that. This is a difference of style, but not in mechanical application, I think. Because there is a reason why Dark Souls, for example, is such a good game that it made its own genre that people tried to follow. It proved that, I think. And I also think, though, that this is a game where the heroes are supposed to win. You want your story to have meaning. So what I have to do as a part of my job is that even though I will always tilt things in your favor, and there's been plenty of things of that, my touch has to be subtle. Because if I make it obvious, you'll lose that triumph. You'll lose that feeling. Right. And then the very last thing you want to do for a player is to stagnate the reward of their victory. It is worse, in my experience, to make a player know they can't lose and to win all the time than to let them know that they might not win. In fact, they might not win at all. But then they do win, and it is all the sweeter. Like,
it's your philosophy.
So, like, the impossible...
And I agree it has merit.
The Impossible Apprentice, for example, that is a possible fight that you could mechanics your way through. And when it got out of hand and when people realized, we can't do this, I have built-in mechanics that give you the capacity to seek victory anyway. But I don't think anybody here was under the impression that had you lost, I would have killed all of you. But you didn't. Although, what I did do with a group clash is that you all got to roll 7 times versus my 1. Statistically, it's incredibly in your favor. And this is where the dice come in. You are statistically valued at, I think, about like 89% to win that. And anybody that sits down like does the math on it, which 89 might be off, but I think it's 89, you are going to win that, right? But the thing is, there is doubt. And the doubt is a force multiplier of the feeling of victory. Because how good did it feel on the 3rd roll?
We almost lost.
You're right.
And that, Avery, is my response to your question. Being discouraged because you lose is the risk that must be taken, because I believe what you gain from the victory far exceeds anything else in the game. The level of elation on everyone's faces, the feeling when you made that last roll, especially after losing the second one.
Yeah.
Like, imagine
in those 3 rolls alone, you've made your point.
Yeah, and that's kind of my response to that. I think that if you wanted a title that would augment your ability to understand how to better employ the tactics on the board, that is something I could do, certainly. But I think that there should be an understanding that there is a line I won't cross on my philosophical standards, and that is, I'm not going to cross the line that tells you how to win, because I think that's a disservice not only to yourself, but to the enjoyment that I want you to have, as my experience as a Dungeon Master. Because I will say this, there are going to be times when you don't know what to do, but there have been times when you have been clutch and key in figuring out a fight. It's happened several times, in which you pointed out something that nobody was thinking about, and everybody reacted to it. Plus, you're a bard. You're a major support character. Like, the level of bard inspiration alone means that you're tipping the scale anyway.
You've already convinced me that I was a very useful character earlier on, back when I had those doubts. And I think this time in this conversation, I wanted to be convinced otherwise, that I did not want a give me this win.
Yeah.
And you've convinced me that I do not want a gimme.
Yeah, but we can work on a title that makes it easier to know what to do. Because confusion and, lacking of confidence is certainly something that can be addressed in terms of a title, I think. I'll have to think on it, though. I have to think at how do I get you that without crossing that line. I just wanted you to be aware that that's the struggle that I'm having right now. It is something I will need time to think on. But if that's the title that you want, I could certainly do something about that. I have to go pee-pee. I'll be right back.
I don't think I want that title anymore.
Sure thing. I have to go to the bathroom, though. I'll be right back.
I actually don't think I want that title anymore. I think I just like the opportunity to, in the Souls terms, get good.
Okay.
Glad you caught up with the rest of the class, Avery.
Yeah.
Just
I hate Souls games, by the way. I hate them.
Oh, I love them. They're like crack to me.
I've never played a Souls game that I like. I've played
I-
Bloodborne. I've played Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. I've played what's the new one? Elden Ring. I hated all of it.
It's Expedition 33.
What?
it's another game. It's really good. People are hyping it up.
Mhm.
Expedition 33. Look, man, I'm willing to try foods that I don't like all day. Like, I fucking hate broccoli. But if somebody makes broccoli for me, like, hey, try my broccoli, I'll try it. I will not do that for Souls games. I've already given it 4 fucking tries, or 5 fucking tries. I'm
Well,
not doing that.
it's not a FromSoft game, so that might be the difference maker.
Everyone has a taste.
Yeah, that's fine.
Speaking of, I'm out of ice cold piss.
I am curious what everyone's currently settling on for their wishes, because I'm still looking at this with information overload.
I'm probably
I
going to choose Chosen. I'm probably just going to take Chosen.
Now, are you gonna wish chosen?
Chosen.
I'm gonna say, are you gonna wish chosen for the entire party or for yourself?
The party.
Okay.
I want
put
everybody in the
mine.
party to have the title, The Chosen.
I put mine in notes. I don't have much ideas.
What the
Yeah.
fuck is a Hydro Blade?
It's a type of weapon.
Special weapon. Special weapon for just for this, basically.
Okay.
Just because I'm side-eyeing the wish does not mean that I am actively going to phrase it to overwrite the said wish, you know?
Okay. You see how that vibe came off.
No, I was not following her logic at all. That word salad shit in my head.
We were talking in DMs.
Yeah. Well, you
I was
were having a
waiting
discussion
for
with.
people to stop constantly talking so that I could get a word in edgewise whatsoever.
Yeah.
What you thinking about, Paxel?
I'm back.
Welcome back.
So
What?
Paxel's whole thing is she wants a place to call home.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to be able to survive here,
Mm-hmm.
which everyone that she is coming to contact or semi-contact with that are like her have all been dead.
Mm-hmm.
She's
The
also
token?
What do you mean like you? You mean like apostates, or do you mean like foreigners?
She-
Like what do you mean exactly?
the first evidence of someone of her kind she came into contact with was a cage full of pixie dust.
Yeah. Okay.
And then she came in right after another sprite dies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All she's seen for her people is death.
Okay.
So she would want Corvanus to become a place she can call home and thrive and not have to hide
Okay.
like she's had to do so far. She would want it to become a mirthful place where no one really has to hide.
But how do you want to do that then?
The more specific you are, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out how to phrase
let me help
together.
you. Let's break it down on its fundamental level. So,
Mhm.
do you want to make this wish just for you, or for your kind? Let's start there.
For Corvanus, honestly.
Okay, so that's very general. That's the entirety of the realm. Okay.
She's wanting it to become a place where magic users don't have to hide or be collared. Her kind can roam around freely without really risking being captured and used as parts.
Okay, so you want to address the prejudice against magic users.
Yeah, she wants a peace. She wants a gentle peace where everyone can be happy and...
Now, well, we're going too general because
and she can thrive.
True peace across the continent is not possible. It's not. You cannot wish for something that cannot be.
Everything is dead.
True
There's
peace. True peace is unattainable. But we can pick specific aspects. So, like prejudice, for example, right? Or maybe slavery could be another target, as examples.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say you want people to be able to walk around with magic without being captured, I think that's a specific enough thing. So, prejudice against magic users.
And magic creatures.
Oh, okay. So, prejudice against magic.
How
about that?
Yeah.
Prejudice against magic. Yeah. Okay. Now, in the concourse of that wish, you need to, I think, really think about how you would want your will to be enacted. Because the wish can make it so, but how it makes it so is important. For example, will this prejudice against magic be stamped out by violent means? Will it be stamped out by bureaucratic means? Will it be stamped out by the overarching will of a god? Things like that. These are important because it's if this was a monkey paw situation, I wouldn't ask you this follow-up. I would make the most terrible thing possible happen, but still make your wish come true. But this isn't a monkey's paw, so how would you like to enlist that specifically?
So, I actually really like Grammar's idea of the dual things, and we were talking about it a little bit in DMs on how it could be like Paxil the Peacekeeper and Grammar the Shield and Hammer who defends that peace. She brings, like, the idea for her is to...
Okay, so you would want to do it yourself, is what I'm getting at.
She wants to help bring peace.
Well, yes.
But she wants to help bring the peace she wants to be.
And you want to do that by ascending to deityhood?
That is what we were talking about, yes.
Okay, that's definitely possible. So essentially you want to enact this peace that you think is the right kind of peace, that is the peace that you believe in, but you want to do it yourself. And the route that you want to do that with is by becoming a dual deity with Grammar.
Yeah, that's what we were discussing.
I think that's fine.
Because, yeah, she hates seeing all the prejudice against magic users and fear among those who
no, I feel you.
aren't
I feel you.
necessarily the most devout of all of them.
Yeah.
All of the followers.
Yeah, no.
She hates seeing all that fear and prejudice, and she wants to fix it.
Simple fix. Prejudice against non-magic users.
And everyone's magic. No one will me. Oh, that's another thing too, is if this was a monkey's paw, I'd do the syndrome thing. It's like, you can't be prejudiced against magic if everyone's magical. But
everybody's a sorcerer. You're welcome.
Now die.
Suddenly
okay.
Everyone just hits 10 exposure and kaboom.
Okay. Sounds good. I think that's a route that you can take, becoming a dual deity with Grammar. Because when you become a deity, when you deify your divine spark, you have to have tenets, right? That you're the faithful, because people can worship you then. So you have to have tenets, mm-hmm. right? And that can be a part of your tenets is, respect magic or, choose peace. I mean, we could write out the tenets together if you'd like, but that's how that is how you would enact your will in the way that you want to ensure that is through tenets, like through the actual faith that you're making.
Okay, I'm kind of leaning towards that.
Okay. Anybody else got any questions or other wishes they want to ask about?
How would becoming a the deification work if you wanted to become a deity that just in simplest terms, 8 other gods.
So
bring it on, bitch.
Side eye.
So we can talk about that. Once again, that is a concourse of what alignment and what your tenets would be. There are other deities that seek to consume other gods. Like, there are other deities that have done that in the past. This is especially true of the patrons, which are in service to the Witch Queen, which by themselves are not deities, but they are essentially deity adjacent, and they consume each other quite on the reg in order to ascend in the Witch Queen's court. So there's plenty of representations of how that would work. I think the biggest problem that you would really run into is that you are going to be a very small fish in a big pond. And if you're going to be doing like a deity consumption thing, that's probably going to put you on the evil side of things. So that means you're probably going to be a gray or black pantheon. And if you become a black pantheon god, or if you are put under the purview of it, you're going to be competing with the big boys that don't give a fuck. So I would enact caution on that route, as you'll have to be dealing with the other older and more evil creatures than just you. But it is by no means.
But that would happen over the expand of things.
Yeah.
You don't have to immediately become who you want to be. It just happens at your time.
If the question is that possible? Yes, it is. It is possible to kill a deity. It's incredibly improbable, but it is not impossible. As you have learned, nothing is.
Nothing is.
Eyebrow wiggle.
Look, man, I chose those 3 lessons for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's so I can do that.
Grammar's been DMing me, talking to me about this, and I was like, "You're not gonna like the next question I have, but go off, King." And
Yeah, I really.
I gotta all caps what the fuck in my DMs right now.
Bring it on.
Side-eye, bombastic side eye.
Jesus Christ, dude. They are so fucking fast. They already added all of those fucking titles to the title page of the wiki.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the big leagues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm
Like I said, I'm going last.
I'm sitting on like my list here.
Also, thank you,
that I
Gaz.
What?
Yeah.
Gaz is the
Head
probably the guy
wiki.
doing the wiki right now.
Oh.
Gaz and all the whole wiki team. Thank you.
The wiki team, yeah. I only saw Gaz online. I didn't see anybody else.
I think.
With the absorption of, so just because it's the easiest fucking route. If I chose deification, and Eden, who is next to a ley line that has the strings of faith and the Anvanti inside of it, would that be something that would, I guess, progress deification, stuff like that? I'm just trying to imagine what players could do to progress stuff like that outside of like make their own cults.
I cannot answer that.
Okay. I'm on the right route then. No answer is a good answer.
That's what everyone says. Sometimes no answer is
No.
you're screaming at a rock, and the rock's not going to do anything.
And then I what's the spell that makes things come to life?
Awaken?
Yeah, and then I
Give the
cast
rock.
Awaken and I make my own route, and now I
Goddamn.
can talk to the rock.
Goddamn woke magic in my fucking being. Get it? Because it's awake! Ah! Good job, me. Nice joke.
Did you explain what the adopted is?
Adopted means you count as another race.
Oh.
For all game mechanics?
Yeah. So you get to
Then
count as 2
dwarf
races.
feats.
So you get to count as 2 races at once.
I can
What
make
is
all my
trapdoor
characters
spider?
furry.
That's
Oh my
true, Nest.
God.
You could pick adopted and make all of your characters furry, even if they're not furry. Would you like to be an omega furry? An infinite furry, if you will.
Well, we know where Kaido's going now.
Can I curse a player with the player title human?
We make all of Nist's characters
Yeah,
human.
make Nist a paragon of fucking humanity, and then
Humans.
he gives himself the furry title, which means everyone is furry.
Never play a human again.
Can we have wishes that could affect other planets? Like, what's the planet that's messed up with the
Quaird.
psychic ones that are like killing everybody that everybody
Isengard?
screams about?
Oh, Asengol?
Is it that one? Apparently, like what Saphira has an egg of the stupid thing. What's the
Yeah,
no thing?
Asengard.
Okay,
Depth
yeah.
Star. Yeah.
Could we make a wish that could delete the Depth Star, or is that
Oh.
too much?
I'm so glad you asked that. That wish has already been made.
Oh, I see. How interesting.
Well, guys, we got
It
like
doesn't look
45
like it
minutes.
fucking worked.
Is anyone making wishes today?
Well, funny you should say that, Avery. There might be a reason why it didn't work all the way. A certain
I'm going to
teleportation.
probably continue
perhaps.
clicking on my wish unless I can finish it out. But
What is Word Wizard?
Word Wizard.
Dude, I'm gonna
was-
eventually ask you what all of these titles are.
Word Wizard was given as a. I believe I gave that out. Okay, no, I remember. I gave Word Wizard to a wizard character that cast the longest spell that I've ever seen. It took him 15 minutes to cast it.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
To give him a benefit?
I actually have to go back and look. I think it makes you immune to silence. I can't remember. I can't remember. I have to go back and check that one. No, chat, let me explain. He spent 15 minutes role-playing the casting of a single spell. Now, 15 minutes doesn't sound like a long time, but 15
Yes, it
minutes
does.
of pure, hardcore role-playing to cast a single spell. Yeah, it was a long time. It's pretty good.
You
Wow.
guys remember how Chala would roleplay golden veins going to his eyes whenever he would cast Hunter's Mark? That for 15 minutes.
Yeah. God, I've had some crazy players.
Yeah, what the fuck? I feel so normal, thank God.
Like, people think combat's slow. Like, sometimes. Like, what? Or medium amounts of times. Dude, this is nothing compared to Group 56. Group 56 is the longest. Like, they would take... An entire session would be one round for them. Yeah, or more impressively, they once fought a boss for 3 months of actual in-game time, and it was a total of, like, 8 rounds.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You met once a week?
Yep. This is how it would work, Avery, just give you a quick aside. Okay, it's my turn. I think I should do this. Well, I think you should do this. I actually think statistically this is the best movement. What if I did this after you did this?
Yeah.
Yeah, now imagine that
Yeah,
7,000
yeah.
times, and that's basically how it works.
Yaptor.
Dude, that's the point where I'm glad I'm the kind of player I am. If Fane is in a fucking group with me and he says, do this, I'm going to do that.
It's actually one of the reasons why I try to promote shot collars when I can. Because they help things. They really help things. But anyway.
Shock collar?
Shot collar.
Shot.
Shot collar.
Oh, shot collar. I see.
Yeah, calling shots.
I thought you were talking about, like, the improved tactician feature, or trait. Well, yeah, that feels like a shot collar.
Yeah, a shot collar would also work. Stop talking about stupid shit.
Ah!
Oh, move, damn it.
Knob would put that on all the players. Do not act inappropriate. I will
Stop.
shock you. Stop!
No more talk.
That should be your counter spell, dude. Stop! Cease. No more. God. Alright, anybody else got questions
Nah.
about wishes?
You got Dragon Slayer on here twice, but is that just like a Slayer title?
Yes. It is exactly
Was
what it
it
sounds
doing-
I
like.
do have one question.
Yes?
If me and Grammar were to do the paired deities, would we each have to use our wish to deify ourselves? Or
Yes,
could it
I
be
would
one
say.
wish?
I would say so. You'd both have to use it.
Okay. I wanted that clarifying question.
No, grammar. You have to move your rook the other way.
What's the 1K club?
Oh, that is when a player reaches 1,000 damage dealt in a campaign or higher.
In a campaign.
Yeah, in a campaign.
How dare you call me for playing out chess? You know I play a lot.
I just see it on the reflection of your glasses. I'm watching you over here castling and just be like, I don't think that was the right move. But you know,
I play like it's like somewhere around 7,000 games a year.
I mean, to be fair, it
Play
is
chess?
reversed in his glasses.
Also, to specify, because I heard it said earlier, I'm not wasting my wish to unwish somebody else's wish. So if that is a worry from people
you
that
could.
have their wishes ready, I'm probably, unless you wish that Miss Steelfox's wish didn't come through, I'm leaving you people alone. So
I wish that her wish doesn't come true. Well, I counter his wish with my
I wish
wish.
that Miss Steel Fox always has a fantastic day, no matter what day it is.
I wish
you
Anfa
cannot wish for that
does
which
not.
cannot be.
I'm Jewish.
In the world of Verum.
I wish
wish
Sunny
for that which cannot be.
stubs her toe every time she gets up in the morning.
You
and that's how
cannot
she
wish
starts her
for
day.
what cannot
Damn,
be.
that's just cruel and unusual.
And it's only the
I wish
pinky
Sonny
toe.
wasn't allowed to play elves
Oh my
anymore.
god! Not the
So-
tiny toe.
Axel, are we in agreement here? You and I are wishing for the deity.
No shit. Wish going off? I'm looking.
We popping?
Yeah, let's go.
I'm beholding. Everybody
Alright.
back the fuck
All right.
So, I want to make the wish for Pax and I to become deities together. And well, I'm clarifying what the wishes, what the goal.
Yeah. You can clarify first. Go ahead.
And then part of our tenant is something I've been working on is for us to have this. Now that obviously the title is subjective, but this is kind of the idea of where I want Paxel and I as protectors to be.
Oh, you motherfucker! You stole the end half of my title wish.
What's up?
Yeah,
All right, I'll have to
convince
think.
him that
I'll have
Against All Odds is a better title.
I will have to
No.
think about that. But
Yeah. Obviously, edit it, change it to wherever it can fit. If you can make it fit, if we can't have it, that's another thing. But I think, regardless, I think the wish goes off for us. So we'll roleplay that.
Dual deity. Okay.
Yep.
So if the case that you guys are sharing two wishes together, now you must put them to forth. You must put them to form and speak them aloud. Because you are both making this wish, you may decide amongst one of the two of you to start the wish, and the other one will finish it.
Oh.
Look.
You want to start it off?
Well, guys, there's been a lot of thought and thinking here, but I think I'm in agreement with Pixel. We need to be protectors. We need to continue to help Pixel. I wish for us to be
Your turn. Finish it.
Hold on.
Damn it. The kids are attacking.
the timing goes crazy.
A child has approached.
Yep.
Yeah, and she has Mario music.
Yeah, it's a part of your back. It's your intro music now.
No.
Yeah. The words
Guess
are
I'll
being
just guess I'll
spoken.
just turn on the old story, the old store theme real quick.
Yeah.
DMC'd over here. So Grammar and I, shall we become deities and protectors to bring peace?
Yes, Pexel, that's what I was just starting for us.
I'm trying, okay?
You're
And
doing
call me
wonderful
Emery.
here.
Hortigast blinks rapidly and kind of waves to continue.
Alright, let's try this again. I, Grammar, wish that Emery and I become
deities of peace, those who can help protect those who can't protect themselves. Those who aren't afraid to take up a hammer and glaive to protect those who need it most.
And so, as the words are spoken, word becomes form, form becomes will, and will becomes wish. Hortigast begins to float. His hands widen, energy flowing from fingertips, coalescing into a singular point above him. Paxil and Grammar begin to rise up as well. The Grammar that you know and the Paxil that you know begin to fade away. A forgotten aspect, one that has ascended beyond a mortal's ken. Their spirits begin to harden into light, and the burning torch in the center burns like bright silver, flowing through their forms, their souls forever tied, their purpose forever shared, and eternal their path entwined. And so, Grammar and Paxil, you leave your mortal lives behind. Your aspects shift to that of the divine, and whatever reflection that your soul might venture into next. And so I have a choice for the two of you. As fledgling demigods, you must choose a pantheon in which to learn the ropes from. To denote, you do not have to stay in this pantheon. This is merely where I put you until you have developed your identity enough to stand on your own. The pantheons are as follows. Actually, I should double check to make sure that that one is unavailable.
I also was curious because I am patron to, or my patron's the Gambler Black, how this works with that.
You are severed from the Gambler Black.
Okay.
He has no penchant over a deity. Only the mortal gambler you once were. Okay.
Just
So, do you have more questions?
Nope.
Okay. As such, you may choose from the following pantheons. The Black Pantheon, the Blue Pantheon, the Green Pantheon, the Gray Pantheon, the White Pantheon, the Red Pantheon, and the Midgard Pantheon. I just fucking saw Knob swell with pride when I said the last one, dude. Like, I saw him raise his head up. That was sick.
I was suppressing my smile so hard.
Good. Like,
what do you think?
You know the Seymour Skinner where he looks down, pathetic. This way it's just like, good. Continue, sorry.
What do you think, Paxil? Or Emery, sorry.
It's okay, you're still getting used to it. Well, looking through the... Sorry, I'm looking through the wiki right now. Looking through the gods and kind of what they stand for.
I mean, I could just tell you if you'd like.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
Maybe, well, yeah. I'll give you the rundown. It's kind of important. All right. The Black Pantheon is a pantheon that represents the deities that have dominion over the evil aspects, such as tyranny, madness, and wrath. They have a naturally conflicted nature with the White Pantheon. However, contrary to belief, these deities have multiple layers and can serve a positive influence on the world. It should be noted that within the Black Pantheon, each deity has 2 vices and 1 virtue that they represent. For example, Babylon is the god of tyranny and slavery, but he is also the god of oaths. 2 vices and 1 virtue. Next is the White Pantheon. This pantheon represents the deities that have dominion over the goodly aspects, such as justice, goodness, redemption. Such deities have a natural conflicting nature with the Black Pantheon. The White Pantheon has 2 virtues and 1 vice. For example, a good example would be Varen is the god of reflection and redemption and forgiveness. But his vice is that his patience leads to inaction.
Okay.
The Green Pantheon. This pantheon represents the Old Faith, a time when society was less complex and nature ruled the lives of people. As such, the deities here enforce the following simple rules in the order of priority, being the most important. Number 1, be a good host. Number 2, be a good guest. Number 3, respect nature. Number 4, hunt for food, not for sport. And number 5, leave the dead to rest. The Grey Pantheon is a pantheon that represents the deities that represent the more morally ambiguous concepts, such as fairness and luck. They oftentimes are the most interfering deities in the causes of others. And as such, these deities have 2 vices and 2 virtues, for their existence is more inherently complex. The Blue Pantheon. This pantheon is the closest to mortal kind, and each one tends to represent a race to some degree. Such deities are very much riled by their passions and can be somewhat unpredictable, and as such they have a single vice and a single virtue. And then finally, the Midgard Pantheon. The patron pantheon of the Viking, and the pantheon that deals with the wisdom and strength of the giants of the past, the Jotunkind. They possess a prevalence over prophecy and time. Specifically, though they are not subservient to Raquel, they more so see the threads of fate as a direct force of nature rather than something to be read.
Now, do we both have to be the same
Yes.
pantheon?
You
Okay.
must be in the same.
What are you thinking, Pexel?
I'm thinking gray or blue.
I could do gray.
Yeah, I feel like if we went blue, Raquel would literally just side-eye us and go, oh no, it's those 2 again.
Yeah. Plus, I think interfering is kind of what we want to do.
Well, that's... Well... Yeah. Because gray interferes the most, right?
Yeah, that's what he said. Is they typically interfere the most.
Yeah.
Not saying that the others don't, just typically they do.
You're
That's
correct.
kind of our go, and plus us having 2 of each, kind of balancing each other out. You pick one, I pick one. You pick one, I pick one. Just seems very fitting.
Mm-hmm. I think Gray. I think Gray would suit us.
There we go.
She has a reason to go there anyway. She still has that book of wand docs.
Yes, true. That motherfucking book plagued me for like 4
that she
years
can never
now.
Open.
I get it, Pexel, Emery. We're
But
gonna
I
figure it
just
out now.
want to open the book.
Be funny now that we're DDs, the books just pop open like, hey,
Right?
you finally got what your wish. All right, but yeah, I think we're gonna go with Gray or Kim.
So be it. As you have made your selection, the souls burn, the silver fire turning to a softer gray. It begins to burn and envelop them completely. Grammar and Paxil begin to ascend into the choir of angels above. And then their forms sift into the aether to await what comes next. Paxil and Grammar, you have completed your story, and your epilogue will be determined by those that come after, by those that follow thy tenets and uphold thy faith. And your story will be reflected through those that take up arms in your name. Congratulations. You have completed your story.
Yay, we made it.
And many more stories to come.
Looks down. Hordigast looks down at the rest. Well, that's 2. Loads gun. Who else wants another wish?
I just want to know what all the titles do.
Well, I have some questions, I guess. I
Sure.
will post my options again.
Sure.
And then just make sure that they're all possible. I think they should be.
Were you
But
posting them? Notes?
I will post them again, yeah, in notes.
Oh my god, I haven't even looked down in here. I'm sorry. Let me see here.
I just posted it, so.
It's a demigod, not semigod.
Ah, yes.
But it means the same thing, so it's not.
Yeah.
It is fine. Okay. I would like to change option 6 to become a demigod of the Midgard Pantheon. You know what you want, Knob. Stop.
Yeah,
Stop. Let's stop
Yeah,
playing
I have
footsie.
some questions
Stop
first.
fucking
I have
playing
some questions
footsie, Knob.
first. Okay.
Do it! You could be bolder!
But I'm just worried about the manifestations avatar thing. Does that mean you have one mind for all your characters, or?
Well, you have the same soul for your characters, but they can be different characters.
Yeah, okay, so you don't have to be the same person every... Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But you'll be connected to them all through the same concourse, right? Because your faith will be represented in that way. So other than me screaming that you should just be hell, let's see. Option 1, the Wayward Tower and its power is handed over to Babylon. Classic. Darian is granted power and is promoted to one of Babylon's higher-ranking officers. Classic. Babylon takes over as the main dead power of the continent. More difficult to achieve, but not impossible. Darian is turned into a combination of Eldar and a fiend. Okay. Any creature that breaks an oath will be cursed until they've been punished accordingly. That is a wish that cannot be made, for it already exists as a covenant of creation.
Got it.
Basically, outside of your jurisdiction.
I was being optimistic.
Yeah.
Babylon already has that on tap.
And number 6, fucking.
Yes.
You know what? I'm gonna.
My question for you:
Not that
do
I
you
wanna
think I would like it?
Not that I want to influence you at all. I'm just gonna play some music. Don't worry about it.
Dude, please ignore me subtly handing you a briefcase full of several thousand dollars under the table. Just ignore that.
What is your question, Nob? Sorry.
Do you think I would enjoy it?
Give me a moment to think about that question.
Yes.
I think I know enough about you now as a player that I could give you a reasonable answer. I just want to kind of double check. Would you enjoy it?
Is this what is to decide my fate?
What's
Yes.
up?
Knob's fucking camera. Oh,
I need to think about it for a second. I think I will answer that as honestly as I can, because in my in my mind's eye, there's two things that are currently warring with themselves, based off of what I have seen of you as a player. So I'm just gonna kind of walk you through what I'm thinking. This is just me doing stream of consciousness type of stuff.
Yeah.
You didn't enjoy playing Gunner. It seemed, or I should say, not as much as you enjoyed the other characters that you've played. Now that could be because that was your first character and you were still learning the system, but you were also given a chance to bring him back, and it wasn't something that you seemed to want to do. The other characters that you've played, Rathu has been kind of, while a very fun character, I wouldn't call him a complex one. Whereas Darian is a pretty complex character due to the backstory and the service to Babylon. He's an inherently complex character. So comparing to and Swar, you haven't played long enough really for me to have a real outlook. Although I will say that although he might be mechanically complex, he's not aesthetically complex in how you roleplay him. So it seems to me that the person that you seem to enjoy playing the most is Darian, and that's just based off of me listening to your voice and my intuition, right? And based off of that, I would say that playing a more complex character seems to be something that you like to do. And I don't mean mechanically, I mean aesthetically complex. And I think that a natural faith-based character, especially of a faith that people don't really follow, could be something that you'd enjoy a lot of. But the problem is that I noticed, and this has been based off of our conversations throughout the entire time you've played, you do certainly seem to have a lot of fear of missing out. Like there's a lot of FOMO that I've seen that you've talked about, like with Gunner, which is why you didn't bring him back, and you wanted to, like you were really concerned about whether or not you'd get to max level with your characters because you didn't want to miss out on all of that. And I think that if you were to do this, you might feel obligated to be typecasted in a way. Like you would make different characters, but they would all have to, I mean, they're going to be to some degree Viking-esque, right?
Yeah.
You know, high honor, brutality, maybe, you know, they're a certain flavor that's going to be there. And I know that you'll go for it because not only is it like a part of your own heritage in real life, but you do go for the themes. Like you very much enjoy themes. I've noticed that a lot about you. You're a very thematic player. My concern is not whether or not you would enjoy it, My concern is whether or not the fear of missing out on the other options you would have would affect your play in the long run. I think in the short and midterm, you're going to have a fucking blast. Because you'll be able to go like, you'll be able to fucking speak Norwegian and summon the power of Thor. Like, that shit's going to be awesome. That ain't going to get old. But I fear that as the game develops and new options become available, you may feel trapped, is my only concern. And retraining is not something that will be available as readily in Prism due to the design of it. There will be chances to make new characters, but that's a year-long commitment in each one. And my fear is not whether or not you would enjoy it. It's whether or not the fear of, like, the bad feeling of missing out on these other options because you feel typecasted might outweigh the enjoyment that you have.
Could you give like an example on what would be missing out?
Like okay, sure, yeah. So the way that I've represented the Viking is that they're very much a warrior culture. Their magic is, laced in prophecy and, giant kind. I do pay homage to the origins of the story, to the Norse pantheon, right? But that means that there are some pantheistic things that you wouldn't really have access to, and it wouldn't make sense, right? Like if you wanted to play a piece of shit. I mean, just a piece of garbage of a person, right? Like someone who flees from battle, a coward, for example. I mean, you know how cowards are treated in your fucking pantheon. They get fucked up, right? So you wouldn't be able to play characters like that, or characters that are pacifists, for example. There might be a whole line of pacifism and development where you might choose to play a more academic character that wants to seek, peace not made with enemies, but peace propagated through, that isn't to say that there aren't great peacemakers in the Norse band, like Baldur definitely is one, and Tyr especially, but the idea behind it is that I think that there is a chance that some of the mechanics of some of the classes wouldn't make sense to that kind of character archetype, and you might feel like you're obligated not to play at them. That would be the only thing I'd be afraid of. I think. There's also the fact. Makes
sense, but
there's also the fact that there are a lot of deities that I've made, and locking yourself in now means you couldn't follow them.
Yeah, exactly. That's also the biggest worry I have.
Yeah.
But I'm not. Yeah.
Because I should remind you that all the deities will become available. So that means not only your own, obviously, but the deities of Calcatesh, the deities of Rhine, like all of them from all the continents. That means Aladyne's on the table for anybody that wants to be a sociopath. So, it's one of those things.
What? I heard sociopath. What's Aladyne?
Aladyne
I'm thinking some evil shit.
Aladyne is the god, the newly risen god of the Sharkai, the god of death.
Oh!
He's a god of death. So he's one of the aspects of death represented in Verum. So that would be the only thing I'd be afraid of. I don't think it'd be a matter of whether or not you'd enjoy it, because I think you'd enjoy it very much. That would just be my concern, is that you'd feel trapped.
Would any wish by other players or by our future wishes be able to undemigod someone?
Yes, dependent upon how it was enacted. Deities can certainly lose their divinity, and the weaker a deity is, the more vulnerable they are. Mortification is what that's called, by the way.
Could it be reachieved like Matheria reachieved it story-wise? Or is it just you have to give another wish?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, wishes are a story reward. Yeah. So, to answer your question, yes. The story can make anything happen. The point is the time investment that it'll take to get there.
Well, I guess my specification is if somebody wished for a character that was a demigod to not be a demigod, does that affect the base, that player's soul every time they make a character is a demigod, or does it affect that specific character?
In the case of a player, yes. It undeifies their traveler soul.
Okay. Interesting.
I would also suggest that before anybody chooses to be a god, that maybe they watch The Road to El Dorado.
Already watched it.
Good.
Didn't learn my lesson.
It's a childhood classic, bro.
It's a great movie.
To be a god.
That's the movie that started my obsession with thick, dark-skinned women.
Oh, man, I can't comment on things. Nope, not me. Nice try. Not today. Can't cancel me. Ooh, I'm too quick. I'm gone.
Could you explain again what would
But
be
I don't
locked
explain
out?
that
So like, no honor, no asshole.
Well, no,
I mean-
it's not so much like you couldn't play them, it's that you would feel obligated not to because it wouldn't really make sense, right? Like if your traveler soul is, you know, the Norse pantheon, die with the weapon in your hand that you might walk the Bifrost and ascend to Odin's hall and be beloved by the Valkyrie and the Aelikari or all the other words I can't pronounce without butchering your beautiful language. A coward isn't one of them. A pacifist, like a real pacifist, probably isn't one of them, right? Not that you would want to play those characters anyway, but having a mechanical meta obligation not to is a, you know, it's something that affects your freedom. I think the biggest drawback, though, is that if you choose to make yourself a deity, you can't follow another deity as that character and get full access to their faith pool. Most notably, you couldn't make a faith clash with another deity. Your faith clash will always be you because you have the divine spark inside of you.
Yeah.
And also you're obligated to make, if you do make a faith character, to follow your own self because that's how you would empower yourself.
Yeah.
So,
Makes sense. But I don't have to be a religious character.
yeah, you don't have to be. I'm just saying that that whole area is locked to one flavor, which is the flavor that you chose, is what I'm saying.
But this is what I'm currently thinking, at least considering. To become a god of achievement or something. That would fit, I think, right?
Yeah,
Within
that's fine. The Midgard Pantheon? Hell yeah. Who is it? Who is it that oh god. Who has the ram that dies to feed people and then regenerates? Is that Thor? I think so.
I think so, I'm not sure.
Oh, god, who's
Myself.
the other one? Who's the But yes, the point is yes. There's plenty of that, plenty of room in that in the Norse Pantheon. God of fishing. Hell yeah.
You fish, a hat spawns.
Serve the Jorgenmunder. Serve the world serpent. Feels good. But yeah, if you want to do that, that'd be how I'd like. I think that works. God of achievement is good. Anybody else have
Xbox notification pops up.
Anybody else have questions?
Yeah, run out of session time, so.
Yeah,
I have a list you're gonna get. It's not gonna be this session. I already know.
I have to make my wish this session.
No. Take your time. This was so
No,
that I could.
I'd like to have you give me literally the benefits of all those titles. Which I know will take you some time. Which I know will take you some time.
Do you want me to write it all out for you?
Dude, I know it's a lot
Alright.
to ask.
All right. No, that's fine. I can do that. I'll have to translate it from Pathfinder.
Right. I figured that'd be the case, so I didn't want to tell you to do it or ask you to do it.
Do it now. Do it right now. Okay, I can do that. Though.
Load
That's
scum.
fine. I'll figure it out. I mean, but why though? Like, do you want a title? You just want one of them, or you just want all the options?
I want a title, and I don't know. I'm not creative enough to think of a title that I want.
I can help
for
you
myself.
cook on a title.
Okay.
if
Tell you
need
what.
help with
I
this.
will give you all the information. It just, in order to save me time on having to translate it mechanically, I will tell you what it might do. Like, this will increase your health. This will make you kill dragons. You know, stuff like that. Would that suffice? Because the difficulty is mechanical translation will be difficult because this title will be in Prism, which is a system I haven't finished yet. So it might be completely different. So this is kind of like a limitation on me, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I could give you a decent explanation of them that would at least give you an idea of what they do.
I can also help you cook on a title. We can yap.
I mean, because like the biggest frame of reference that I have for how strong a title should be is like what you've given me in the wiki, and I'm not creative enough.
I got you, brother. He wants the Riz look. Every time he looks at a woman, they have to roll a.
Oh no, not the Mew.
Or a man. Honestly, just anything. If it is a sentient creature with an intent,
all his characters are
reproductive ability.
All his characters are the deep faked Sigma guy over all the faces.
Yes. And they have to make a save, and if they fail it, he is there on his side. They are charmed.
Do you want me to just make you one?
I mean, I don't know what I want is the thing.
Ah, I see. All right, I'll go through all of them. I'll give you stuff, and then we'll figure it out. Don't worry about it.
Because right now, the one that's most appealing to me is the Chosen, but I don't even know what Hydra feats are, and I don't know what Hydra weapons are, or a Hydra blade.
We got a whole week to cook on it. We're running session time.
I got you. I know what you want. I got you.
Y'all have a whole week. I'm now off for the next couple weeks.
Does anybody else have a wish they want to make before the session ends? Oh, Kaito's walking forward. Oh.
Yeah, Kaito. Okay.
Kaito?
You wishing?
He's wishing.
I'm zooming in. He's muted.
I'm muting.
I'm just trying to figure out how to word this.
I stay zoomed in on Kaito's
I'm fucking muting. Go ahead, pop off.
Kaito would step forward, holding onto the destroy domains of his main weapon as he looks towards the choir. We've seen the strength of an apprentice. I wish to aid the others in their challenge, to lend them strength, to make sure they do not last longer. I'm not sure how else to word this.
That's fine. Hortigas will nod, will open forth his hands, summon forth his power, and although he may not challenge the other apprentices direct, aiding those that face them is certainly something that can be done. Kaito, your wish has been granted. From this point forward, every group that is facing a mighty challenge, whether it be apprentice or otherwise, receive a use of an impossible inspiration, which ignores the effects of Hope Beater, Hopeless, and the lessons of Tyr.
That's pretty pog. I have one question.
I doubt that, but go ahead.
Can I give my wish to somebody, another traveler soul, not in this party?
No.
Okay, then.
You can make a wish for them, but you cannot give it to them.
Okay.
Tragic.
Just reread what I have written down.
I wish my brother had a single use of the spell wish.
Then you'd have to deal with the monkey paws.
Get fucked.
Get fucked. Monkey paw.
Oh, big dog.
When you got a dog, let me look at the dog. He's a good dog. A big boy.
Hey, old man.
Alrighty. Well, Kaido, I will immediately apply your wish. In fact, I'm just going to go to the announcements and do it right now.
Woo! Because those guys, defeating those guys is very important.
Of course, it'd be my little brother who's selfless.
Yeah, it's a good thing he didn't learn from you at all.
Greed is the
It's my
root.
one hope in the
Don't
world.
forget
Yeah.
that.
You were just dragged along with this. You were just dragged along.
He's my bodyguard.
You know, we never did figure out what that poem was referring to in the beginning. Hey, maybe you can whisper that. What was that poem about?
Are you talking about greed is the root?
Yeah, greed is the root, terror is the sweetener, death is for certain, so let wise the curtain. I still haven't forgotten that.
Don't know. Probably had something to do with the city.
Likely.
I'm just.
Okay. Announcement made. Thy wish has been granted.
Peak.
Cool.
I am looking.
Whoa! 3 times?
Wow.
That's fucking huge. Why didn't we get that?
Because no one else wished for it.
Selfish bastards.
Yeah, those selfish guys. Read all the define all the titles for me. Do them now. I want one of them. I don't know which one it is, but I'll want one of them. It's gonna be one of them.
The secret is that I'm doing this for Gaz, so he can actually fill in the titles on the
It
wiki.
was me, Barry. Alrighty. Well, we've come to the end of session time. Now we have to talk about next steps. So obviously people will get me to their wishes. You've completed the Impossible Apprentice's final challenge. And from this point forward, we will now enter your epilogue sessions, in which we will go over your participation in the final confrontation against Agamemnon and the fate of Corvinus. We will determine the different decisions that you'll get to make as you will become inheritors of the Wayward Tower and its final actions before it shuts itself down, therefore ending the presence of Tyr in the local area. And we'll also get to deal with your epilogues individually. Some of you are going to have very simplistic epilogues. You're gods now, for example. Good job. You get to be worshipped. But some of you will probably have more stuff to go over. Those of you that will live mortal lives wherever they might take you. Okay. Good session. Guys.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm so proud of you guys. You guys did it. You did it. You got to the end. My cutscenes.
I survived the campaign! One of my characters finally made it to the end.
That's true.
Yay!
You didn't
I
die.
just now realized that MSF says that I sit like a cunt.
He does. You do.
I mean, that's just kind of your
Where
personality.
did she
It just
say that?
oozes
I
off
gotta
of
do-
you.
Where did she even say that? That's fucked up. Alright. Good stuff, guys.
Have a good day, everyone.
Thanks
Yeah,
for watching,
have a great
everybody.
night.
Thanks for supporting the channel. I'll see you guys in an hour for the Silver Star, I think and hope. Hold on, let me make
He
sure.
does sit cunty. Listen, he does sit
Maybe.
cunty. Knob changed his background again, and I'm going to fucking roll on the ground because it's fucking cats now.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's been there for a while.
I just
That's
know.
why I had to
had
bring up
to.
the no.
I had to close Discord because he was fucking distracting me with his fucking backgrounds. Okay.
Oh,
He kept
never mind.
changing. It was funny.
It looks like we might not be playing Silver Star tonight.
Aw.
What?
So we get more time.
Apparently, we have missing people.
Oh, Sedge.
Huh.
We could just keep going. We can just keep going and sort out our
Ayo.
wishes.
Ayo.
Dude, Avery, I'm gonna have to sit here and type all this shit up. Like that's
We
not,
can do it live.
that's not fun.
Live!
Live.
Oh, we can give us their time. Give us their time. Give it to us now.
Listen. Sunny's cooking on her. She can go, and then maybe Gene will have his ready, and then Nom will go. Like, yeah, let's do it.
Maybe
Not
Nom
me.
will eventually make a decision.
What else you got planned for tonight?
A little more time, my lord.
I guess nothing.
Free time. Hey, I got you back. Free time. You can have some free time.
Extension, my lord.
Oh my fucking god! The other guy's canceled. Extension now. Do it. Give us more.
We're starting something very bad. So if anybody ever cancels and they're not the last session, it's just like, well, anyways, since you're not going to do their session,
well. I guess you got some time on your hands.
Just opened up on your schedule.
Dude,
listen, if we're already gonna make these effects and everything, we might as well get as much as we can out the way now.
Yeah,
you know?
MSF. Tell you what, get on cam with a cowboy hat, and then maybe I'll consider it.
I do not have a cowboy hat, so sadly,
What a loser.
I guess.
Just go- just-
Okay, first of all,
Oh, I got
you, Avery.
Would a
Just-
long
yeah,
brimmed
oh,
fedora
yeah.
be
All right,
sufficient?
hold on. Let me shut down stream. I'll probably hang around and help you guys, but let me shut down stream for a bit.
Look.
All right,
Goodbye.
bye everybody.
Hit him with my dog.
Have a good
Bye,
day,
because we gotta figure out the whole godhood.
Did you put
thing.
your hat on your dog?
He did.
Yeah.
He,
Oh my
and then
God,
he had
they
the
did.
audacity to shit
He's a
talk me.
cowboy dog.